Hello everyone, and welcome to tonight's game, run by me, Robert Hartley, GM, Games Master. Tonight I'll be Dungeon Master or DM, but I'm also a GM elsewhere. You might be able to find me on here on Twitch. If you check out my name, Robert Hartley, GM, you'll see a channel that I run a few times a week where I talk about D&D stuff. I'm joined tonight by a lot of other amazing content creators as well. So I'll kick over to them in a second to introduce themselves, but I'll first give you a little hint as to what we'll be doing today. We are playing a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game. It's a one-shot intention, but it is set in a campaign world, by which I mean one of my own home settings. It's fully fleshed out because I've been running this setting for several different groups for several years. So hopefully I know a little bit more about the gods and the locations doing it this way. And it makes it a lot easier to improvise when you already have been running a world like this. Yeah. So we're playing 5th edition D&D. We are playing a one-shot where all of the characters are 7th level. So a pretty decent power level to them. And hopefully they'll prevent the accidental TPKs that can sometimes happen with one-shots. We'll start off with, in no particular order, we'll start off over here on my right with the lovely Heath. Do you want to explain who you are and where people can find you online?
G'day, I'm Heath. I'm the Antipodean D20. You can find me on most socials at the Antipodean D20. I'm a crazy South Australian who just loves gaming and everything about the gaming community. I love to promote local gameplay, game design, and I'll even promote international when it sort of resonates with me. Just love throwing dice when I can.
Wonderful. And right below you, Heath, is the lovely Michael.
G'day. Hi, my name's Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. I'm a professional role player and game master from Perth, Western Australia. I get up to a whole bunch of mischief with a whole bunch of people from all around the world, and I have thus been referred to as now the RPG Nick Fury because for some reason everyone eventually ends up playing with me and knowing me and stuff, and you can watch them all on my various channels and things. So yeah, go see that. That's always fun.
And over here on my left, there is the lovely Benjamin.
Excellent. Hello, I'm Ben Looms. I'm the CEO and creative director of Sirenscape, the app that brings awesome immersive sound and music to tabletop games. I'm Australian. I'm a pianist and a singer and a dead crazy D&D player from the Red Box on holidays at Smith's Lake, opening that book and having my little tiny mind blown with the wonderful adventures I could have. I also love playing Call of Cthulhu, D&D, Star Wars, D6, and just about anything else I can get my hands on. I'm very excited about today.
And today we'll actually be using some of Sirenscape for some sound effects. Michael down there will be looking after that for me because anybody who knows me knows how terrible I am at music and sound effects during my games. So thankfully I've delegated that job to somebody else tonight.
But then again, everyone who's been a fan of my channel are laughing their asses off at the fact that Rob has trusted me with tech.
I was short on I was short on options, and Ben for some reason wasn't an option.
Well, it's nice just to play.
I know, right? And then not
running
to
the
actually
stream,
use
not dungeon mastering, not even DJing. I've DJed some amazing games, obviously with D&D Live and all sorts of stuff, but I'm just playing my character, which is beautiful and relaxing. So thank you, Michael.
I do have one burning question for you, Ben, that I think everyone in chat's got to ask, is when you DJ for RPGs, do you have like glow sticks and stuff like that? Like,
for sure.
Absolutely. Everyone, okay. All my friends and people who really know me would know that I'm definitely extremely cool, and I go clubbing with the boys. Is that the right terminology?
I think so.
I'm down with the beat and bitching with the
On that note, I think we'll cut down to the very patient gentleman in the corner, the lovely Grant.
G'day. I don't have much on the way on socials. I just lurk on everybody else's pages, watching what everybody else does and stealing all their ideas. I've been DMing since the mid-'80s, and I just love creating worlds and ideas and stories along with all my friends. We run 3 games a week in our house, and it's just great to meet you guys face-to-face and be part of this.
Thank you very much, Grant. And thank you all for joining us here. It has been a lovely experience this whole weekend. It's quite exciting to have been invited along to GaryCon. It's my first one, hopefully of many. Hopefully by this time next year I'll be able to attend something in person again if the world is back open for business.
And alive.
Are you ready? Are you sitting comfortably?
No.
Who remembers what happened last time?
Last time we slayed the king and stole the dragon's treasure, and now we rule everything twice.
Yes. And then you woke up from the dream realm. And Yalta.
Yes.
Yalta, recently you were hired by the acolytes of Kiverez, a god of the mountains, god of caves, god of rocks, god of natural formations. And the acolytes of Kiverez have heard about ruins that are situated somewhere in the South Drenwheel Ranges. You were hired as you have prowess with your archaeological insight, and you were sent down to a small town called Holdover. Holdover is a crossroads of a town situated between two cities and right next to the Drenwheel Ranges. It's the sort of last bastion of a place to rest and get yourself prepared for the very dangerous journey through the orc-infested terrain that is the mountain range. There you were given a couple of guards to help you. The highest-ranking members of the Knights of Kavosna, a faction of fighters and paladins and all-round adventurers and protectors, sort of the law enforcement, if you will. They sent with you a couple of very high-ranking members, a wolverine and a lion, to protect you. Unfortunately, you made it barely a couple of hours into the mountain range before you were ambushed by some very well-prepared orcs who dropped a huge amount of stone in front of you on the path and blocked your path. Doing their duty, being tasked with your protection, the two knights jumped off of their horses and started attacking the orcs that were ambushing you while screaming for you to take to the hills and get back towards Holdover, quick as you could. You did thankfully manage to hold your own against some of the orcs that ambushed you and managed to take them down before jumping on your horse and riding like the wind. Or more directly than the wind. I've never understood that expression. Run like the wind in several circles and get trapped in a corner for a little while and go up and down.
Pick up all the leaves and deposit them over there.
Deposit them, yeah.
No,
Run much more efficiently than the wind.
So someone can video this plastic bag.
Beautiful.
You
Wow, so deep.
You ventured a glance over your shoulder to see how they were faring, and they were holding their own until all of a sudden both of them seized up as though paralyzed, as a very large orc, chained from the wrists to two other very smaller orcs around the neck, dragged those two orcs towards your companions who were paralyzed, and that's the last time you saw them. The last thing you remember seeing of this very large orc was that his face was covered in blood.
Okay.
You did not stop to see what happened, but you rode and rode and rode for over an hour, almost riding this horse into the ground, galloping the entire way down the foothills of the mountains until you got to the town of Holdover, where we find you approaching 100 yards from the gate when the horse finally collapses. Poof, exhausted, it almost flings you from the saddle. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm guessing animal handling's not going to help me here, so
Probably not. A bit of medicine, maybe, or a bit of just resting for this horse might be needed.
Yes, I think I'll do that. I'll ease the horse too. I'll wipe my brow because I have no doubt that I'm sweating profusely from such a
Most likely
a crazy couple of hours. So yeah, saddlebag, bit of food, give to the horse, let the horse crop, look for some water on the saddlebag somewhere, let this horse rest and recuperate. Always watchful, keeping an eye back over to where I've just come from. And I will take 5 minutes to pause for myself and let my heart stop thundering in my chest, which I have no doubt after such a battle, and a surprising battle at that, and a ride, even though it was a couple of hours, you know that adrenaline's going to still be ready to go.
Absolutely.
So I'll just still my nerves and have a 5 minute pause.
As you're sitting down for 5 minutes to catch your breath and think about what you've just witnessed. You look over towards the exterior wall of Holdover, and you see that a couple of guards have noticed you on watch from the walls as the gate is being opened, and a couple of guards are now wandering your way in rather a fast clip. As they approach, could you describe to people watching what you look like? What do they see?
Okay. So Jalta or Yalta, depending on where you're from, is half elven, so half human, half elf. who actually grew up in a hobbit human environment and is quite friendly with dwarves, which is unusual for someone of elven lineage. It comes from that he didn't really, no, I don't like my father, but he had a calling that drew him away. He spent time and learnt about his heritage as a half elf, but he felt a calling more to the rocks and the mountains than the forest. So for someone who has elven lineage and appreciates where he comes from, doesn't overly come across as elven, nor does he sort of keep the airs of an elf. He's more, a hobbit or a dwarf in half elven skin. Dressed just sort of simple travel clothes for the moment, particularly because he's not a showy person, nor is he an overly attractive person. Again, that elven lineage is not quite clear when people meet him. But he is genuine. He is genuine to those he knows.
As they approach, one of them calls out, "Oi, oi! What's all this? What's the matter? You all right? What's going on?"
Oh, my friends. My eyes are relieved to see friendly faces and not that of blood-smeared orc numbers. I've just come from a tremendous gallop of a couple of hours. My companions, I fear for them, but we were sent to explore.
Hang about. You're the one who was going to explore the rocks, right? Ain't you?
That is one way of putting it. Yes.
Owen and Jessica went with you. Yeah.
Yes.
Where are they?
Did. They held the line and told me to come back, to return to holdover.
What happened? What happened? A dragon? What? Come on. Just breathe. You're right. You're right.
A huge bloodied orc held them, and they Owain yelled at me to flee, and against all my better judgment, I did just that. I didn't want to leave them. But,
okay. You're all right.
The look on his face will haunt me, and the conviction in his words drove me to leave them.
All right, calm it down. It's all right. You're all right now. Orcs, you say, right? How many, roughly? Like, you wouldn't have got a good luck, but it was well over a dozen.
Yeah, numbers immeasurable for such a fast interaction.
Right. The other one sort of grabs the one that's doing the talking and kind of pulls him and whispers a little. What's your perception modifier?
It is perception modifier. Oh God, hang on, looking for it here.
Oh, good.
Perception modifier is +3, but it's got like a little A on D&D Beyond.
Oh, so you have advantage under various reasons.
Yeah.
All right, so with a +3 and advantage for various circumstances, it's enough to pick out what the guy's whispering about. He says, "Hey, wasn't it Owen that was carrying Fulbring?" And the first guy goes, "What?" He goes, It was his turn with Fulbring. He's been attuning for it to..." And the first guy's eyes go wide. And he says, "Oh, no. Oh, no. Listen, mate, Owen, when he I assume he got his sword out when he was attacking these orcs, yeah?"
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Was it glowing? It was.
It was.
Yeah.
There was an illumination from him.
All right. We need to act quickly. All right. I mean, who we got? Owen was our best man. There's that pompous ponce in he came in town through of day. Toby or something, Tobias he was calling himself. He's adventuring sort. He's like, "Oh, I'm taking on the world. We can ask him." I mean, we put it. I mean, it's not the best, but we could. Yeah. You're not from around here, are you? What was your name, pal?
You can call me Jaltor or Yalta.
Jalta. You're not from Oldover, are you?
No.
Right.
No,
all right. Come with us. Are you with the fight? Are you good? You said you weren't going to leave them, right? So you must be pretty handy with a sword or something.
I'm well versed with swords and bows, but
good.
The conviction in the look on his face.
Yeah. Come on, get up. He turns to the other fella and says, Yeah, listen, Phil, you take care of this horse. We might need it in a minute. I'm gonna go to Homie Scabbard and see if I can track down that pompous fella. I think he had a bodyguard with him. He might be useful. Listen, you come with me. And he turns and just runs back towards the town.
Yeah.
Do you follow?
Yeah, of course.
So the other fella stays to take care of the horse, to get it back up into fighting shape as you enter the town.
I give the horse a
A little pat down, yeah.
a pat like that.
The town is a relatively small but very busy town because it's a crossroads between two very large cities, and it stands as the sort of the stopping point. Whether you're coming from any which direction, you will end up in holdover. And so there's a lot of very nice places to eat and to rest. But one of the better ones, right in the sort of prime location in the centre of town, is a tavern called the Homie Scabbard. And that's where he takes you. He takes you rushing all the way, and he's going, "Oh no! If they get hold of it, oh god!" And he's sort of muttering to himself as he goes. He passes another guard on the way, who he stops and says, "Hey, listen! I need you to get a message to Wendraven. Tell him that the Fullbring, the Holy Saber of Wendraven, might have been lost. We've got some men on it, some mercenaries. We might have lost our one lion. Send more. You know what to say." And the lady goes, "Yeah, right you are." And she scuttles off towards the rookery to send a message. He burst into the Homie Scabbard, which is a very nice tavern, and if you had a little more under different circumstances, you'd probably enjoy taking a look around. Off to the left is a lounge area in front of a roaring fireplace. Not at the moment because it's the middle of the day and the middle of summer. There's a bar in front of you and a restaurant-y sort of area off to your right, and then there's a little theatre attached to the back of this lovely tavern. Very what's the word? Wattle and daub kind of feel to it, very homely and comforting. He rushes in, and there's a lady behind the desk with she's got this beautiful blonde hair in rings, but she's sitting down in a chair when you enter, and she startles, gets up, and he goes, "Listen, Nia, you got a fella staying here, Tobias, I think, or fancy looking cleric fella with big bodyguard fella." And she goes, "That's right, yeah, upstairs, room 3. Why? Has he done something?" And he goes, No, quite the opposite. I need to employ him for something. Can you, wouldn't you mind getting him? And she goes, "Yeah, of course. Logan!" And she calls over to a little boy who's sitting in the front lounge. He's probably about 10 years old. He stands up, and he's an odd look to him, not only because he is exceptionally muscular for his age. He's got like arms pretty well built, but he's also got bright blue hair that sort of is tied up in a top knot. She goes, "Logan," and he goes, "Yeah, ma'am." And she goes, "Upstairs, room 3. Go get the gentlemen that are staying in there, both of them. Tell them the guard want to have a word, please." And he goes, "Right you are," and he runs upstairs. As he knocks on the door, what do you reckon Tobias and Crow are doing in the room at this moment?
I think Tobias would be polishing things. He'd probably be polishing his scale mail armor to make sure it's absolutely gorgeous. Maybe sort of got a delinter on his sort of cloak. Cleaning his boots, making sure he looks absolutely brilliant. Probably looks brilliant already.
Looks brilliant, of course, but he can always look extra brilliant.
Absolutely.
And what about Crow? What do you reckon you're doing, Crow? Oh, you are muted.
That's me. Sorry.
Chase away the tiny wizard who's cast silence.
Right. Crow would only be in there momentarily to gather something. He wouldn't be spending time with his employer in any way. He's just come up to get a couple more coins to come down and maybe buy some drink. So he's ruffling through his pack.
There's a knock on the door, and as the door opens, what does Lagan, the little boy, look at? What is he seeing?
Well, as soon as if there's a knock on the door, I would go to the door.
Yeah.
And blocking any other view of the room, open it 6 inches. What?
You're wanted downstairs. There's a town guard here to see you.
I turn around and look at my employer.
Excellent. They've heard of my wonderful abilities. Yes, we gladly meet the town guard. It's an official welcome, I expect.
And what is Lagan looking at? What do you guys look like descriptively?
Yeah, Tobias is more than 6 feet tall, maybe sort of 6.5 feet tall. He's very, very thick set. He would be muscular, but it's probably not mostly muscles. He's got his scale mail on his lap, beautiful scale mail. He's got his great staff sitting next to him, resting up on the bed with this beautiful pottery blazing sun at the top of it. It's some sort of religious symbol or something. He's got sweat beaded across his forehead because it's terribly hot. He's sort of a loose, friendly face, soft skin, beautiful blonde hair, washed sort of just this morning, no doubt, and fine boots, fine pants, fine clothes, everything of the finest standard, and healthy and.
He doesn't never wants a single moment to go by where somebody looks at him and doesn't realize he's from noble birth. Absolutely,
yes. They need to know they're meeting a Scaroland of Weldraven. So yeah,
of course. And Crow, what do you look like?
So Crow's a mid-20s, blonde-haired, very Celtic-looking guy, Irish Celt. He's decorated in bones and feathers and claws and skinned, sewn bags and pouches. Hearing that the town guard want us for something, he grabs a large blade-tined boar spear. I'm getting my words muddled. Boar spear, and he says that his attire is entirely that of someone who is practiced at traveling. His pack contains his whole life. Because of the warm weather.
Yeah, just as someone would look at Tobias and know his backstory, someone would look at you and equally know that you are the man to hire if you want to be looked after on the road. Yes. You've seen more of the road than the people who made it.
And given the number of animal and bestiary bits hanging from me, I've seen my fair share.
Yes.
And I would then lead the way out, probably barreling through this small blue-haired boy. And immediately I'm just on sentinel mode, like what's going on.
Looking out, making sure. Yeah. Keeping an eye on
I won't put my scale mail on yet. It's a bit hot, actually. It's dreadfully hot. Unbearable.
It's your skin.
Leaves it on the bed. Just a thin shirt.
You make your way downstairs, to which point you come upon the midpoint of a discussion between a townsguard that you recognise by his bracer that has the Knights of Kavosna symbol on it, and the tavern owner by the name of Nia, and he's in the middle of talking to her about we think it's the Orcs, Mum. I think we're safe down here. It was just that the people who went up there got ambushed. We were expecting it, but apparently even Owen was surprised by it, so it must be something a little more than we're used to. And then he sees you arriving and he says, Right, you must be the fella. You came into town last night, right?
Greetings, yes. Tobias Scaroland of Wendraven. Good to make your acquaintance. I gather there's something terrible that needs my attention?
It certainly is. I take it from your station that you are well versed in handling yourself with a weapon?
Yes, quite able. All my friends say so.
Right.
Yes.
How would you like to earn a bit more coin, perhaps, or a bit more reputation? Don't know which one takes your fancy more, but
coin is irrelevant to me. Reputation and the good done to the world, so that people will know the true love of the one.
Yeah. We've got a problem. Sent a couple of men up into the mountains just this morning, a few hours ago. Only one of them came back. Apparently, they've been ambushed by orcs. How are you with orcs?
I've felt led in this direction. In fact, this is the very reason that I came to town. I believe I'm having unveiled before me the purpose that was laid out like a road for me to travel upon.
Right, yeah. How's your man with orcs? And he points over your shoulder to Crow.
Yes, I think he was chosen specifically for the task of this, foray into the mountains. Good with danger. Myself, good with the wrath of God rain down upon whatever fiendish creature opposes our will.
Yeah. So that's a yes then. All right. There'll be a reward in it. I'm not in a position to say what the reward will be yet. We're kind of just flying as we go here. We need you to head up into the mountains. More importantly, actually, Nia, could we use the theatre? She says, "Oh yeah, of course." And she gestures through to the back room. He says, "Talking a little bit more private, eh?" And you wander into the back room, and the little lad wanders in with you, and he goes, "No, out you go, lad again." And he goes, "No, I'm this is my place. I can." And he goes, "Whatever. I don't have time to argue with you. Listen, here's the deal. Owen was holding a legendary sword. It's been passed through the Knights of Gavosna for quite some time. It's called Fullbring, and it's the its title's like the Holy Saber of Wendraven or something. Tobias, you would have heard of it. It is quite a well-known piece of equipment.
Of course, yes, of course. Well versed. He's not well versed.
He goes, there's a problem. If the Orcs have got hold of it, I don't think they're smart enough to use it. But if they ever found out, well, let's say that what it's capable of is some great power, and we need to make sure it doesn't fall into wrong hands.
Called upon this purpose as I have been by my god, I suspect there are some darker forces behind the acquisition of this sword, so I think, yes, we should definitely get on to it.
Yes, we probably should. The problem is, does any of you know how to track an object? Like, do you know how to like find where this object is? And Lagan's like putting his hand up, but the guard's kind of just dismissing him. Not now, Lagan. Do any of you know how to find things that are missing?
Spells priest?
Find missing things? No.
The young boy seems to have an opinion on this factor.
No. And he goes, no, I do. I know how. What? Go on. And he goes, there was a man in here last year, I think. He said that he had a sword that was like fire or something, and it was made the same time as Fullbring, and he knows where it is. What? Who knows where what is? The man with the sword says that his sword knows where Fullbring is at all times. Well, which man was this? He goes, I ain't seen him since. Well, that's not use. He goes, no, but there was Peter says he's got it now. What? Peter the farmer. He says he's got the sword. You go out and see him. He's probably got the sword of the fire one that can tell where the Fullbring is. He says, you're saying that Peter's got a sword that will tell you where the other sword is? He goes, yeah.
Peter the farmer.
Yeah. Peter's a farmer. He lives out east, so I mean it's on your way anyway. So even if it's a dead end, you're on the way to the mountains and try your best. We're getting you some horses, one each. You can try not to kill them, but you know it's not the biggest threat. I can't stress enough.
We have our horses that we came with, don't we?
Oh, of course. Yeah, you take your own if you're more accustomed to it. I can't stress enough, Fullbring being lost could be the end of the world. So please do your best to find it, bring it back. At all cost.
Likes the feel of that. It's yes.
Time is of the essence, so chop. Peter lives on the road out. It's the only farm on the east side of town.
Where's the man that came back?
He's just out here, and he walks out and he goes, Jaltar, in here.
Jaltar goes in.
You see this human-looking guy walk in, but there's something about him that's just a little not human. Just for the more perceptive among you, maybe. There's Yaltar, Tobias, whatever it is, whatever it's called. You can do introductions on the way. I really need you all to find this sword and bring it back ASAP.
Tobias says the longest Elvish greeting sentence that he knows, and just on the off chance, or he assumes this guy speaks Elvish, and he just absolutely mangles the pronunciation of it, like we're talking sort of year 7 Latin kind of sort of standard of accent, and but there's not a glint that he thinks he's being sort of embarrassing or revealing any faults at all. Sort of greetings from the wind of the petals falling on the river water the goat kind of thing,
The guy just sits standing in the corner like.
Does Yaltar speak Elvish?
That's a very good question.
You would.
So, yes.
You would speak a little, I think.
Yeah.
You perhaps haven't used it in a long time, so it's a little rusty, perhaps.
Good, maybe you won't recognise how terrible the Elvish was.
I speak Elvish and I just roll my eyes.
You don't or I'll cry. Excellent. We have to go and equip ourselves, don't we?
Please, quick as you can.
Ready for action.
We'll get you some rations and things for on the way. You know the dangers.
I'll get the horses. You
do
get
what you
the
need.
packs.
I'll meet you down here in just tick of a pop. Yes.
Right. I turn to the small blue-haired boy.
Yeah.
And go. Where's this farm?
It's just on the east of town. You have to go. I'll come with you. and
Yeah, you
the
can come
guard
with.
goes, no.
Yeah. Yes. I'll give the kid a copper. Go get my bag.
Right, yeah. Out the room, and he goes, he's going to think he's an adventurer. He's already insufferable with the amount of
How old is
brazen
this kid? Is he like 6 or 12?
He's about 10.
Yeah, all right.
Gavroche kind of thing.
Yeah.
He'll help. It's all right. Yelta,
Yes.
what happened?
So I've been hired to go and look at an area, and the bodyguards that came with to help escort me, we got to a certain place in the track, and these rocks came crashing down, and we were beset by orcs. The senior of more than the fingers on my hands.
Right.
The senior of the two escorting me had a look on his face that said "flee," and words to match. I would not have left such brave people if not for the conviction in this guy's voice and the look on his face. And as
this is the one with the glowing sword.
Yes.
It's now lost.
Had I have known the importance, perhaps I might have stayed.
That's all right. You did what you needed to do. Okay. You need to take us, once we leave this farm and pick up this sword, take us to the location of the ambush.
Absolutely.
What do you mean you're going with him? You're not going with him, Lagan. No, he said I could go with him. He paid me a copper to go. No, you're not going. You're 10 years old. You're not going on an adventure into the mountains. You've heard too many stories about what. I can go. I'm big and strong now. I'm stronger than Dad was. You're not stronger than your dad was. Lagan, you're not going. That's enough.
I stick my head into the door with this is going past. It says he'll lead us to the farm and no further.
Oh, well, that's not the impression that he had. Did you hear that, Lagan? You're going to Peter's farm and no further. Oh, I thought I'd go into the mountains. No, you're not going into the mountains, Lagan. Just to Peter's farm. You'll tell them where the farm is. Fine. He grabs your bags and he slings it up over his shoulder, and it doesn't seem to be bothering him. He's a fairly strong dude.
Yep, I will take him out, get him to help me saddle both the horses, and I'm going to ask this kid, you know, if I gave you a knife, you know where to stick it and how to use it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like properly, like not just
yeah.
and wood.
I've heard all about the stories. I've heard so many stories working in an inn.
Yeah, but have you ever done it?
Well, once or twice with rats.
Okay. Does he have a weapon?
No.
I will pull out an old secondhand like short sword that I've got.
Nice.
But hold this.
He takes it. Whoa, nice. He starts swinging it, but it's the thing that first hits you is this guy's natural with a sword. Like this is if he hasn't used a sword before, he's good. He's good at he's got technique.
Okay, that's right. I'll throw him on the front of my saddle when we're heading
off. So about this time, Tobias, you come back down in your scale mail, all ready to go. Yalta, you get.
Tobias doesn't merely come back down; he appears at the bottom of the stairs like a shining radiance of holy power. His almost unbearably shiny scale mail, hefting his heavy staff and looking awesome. And he kind of pauses for a moment to make sure everyone's noticed that he's arrived. Stepped off the last step.
Yeah. There's a few people in the lounge that are just like talking over a paper or something that haven't noticed. So you look around. Oh,
That's right.
He's fancy, isn't he?
Tobias is stronger than he is charismatic, so it's like quite a significant chunk. So yeah, not actually particularly good looking, but he's got that kind of soft, squidgy feeling of someone who's never sort of been short of food and always has moisturizer on hand. So yeah.
Whereas I'm this leather-skinned, lean machine.
I should homebrew you a magic item, just like a pebble that exudes moisturizer, and you can just hold it. Yeah. A never-ending pebble of moisturization.
Absolutely.
So to make sure that Michael doesn't go to sleep before we get to his character, we for sake of brevity, we cut to you guys arriving at the farm land with Lagan on your horse, Grant.
And I just gave him some pointers as we've been riding. He's
asking about like he's picking up very quickly on like the weight of the hilt and how it's an extension of the arm and all of this sort of thing. And he's already got a lot of the terminology down from listening intently to a lot of stories about the how to use swords and things.
A farm.
And he goes, yeah, it's this one here. And you head up to the door, hitch your horses, and walk up to the front door. And knock at the door, and as the door opens, Michael is not there. Instead, it's an NPC called called Peter who answers the door. You see, it does not look like the type of guy who would have a legendary sword of fire or whatever. He's just a rather. I mean, he's well built because he keeps himself active on a farm, but he's currently sitting down to lunch and he's got a bit of a belly on him. He's probably like past middle aged for this time of the history, so probably about 40 or so, and balding and a bit. Just taken aback to see people so well armored at his doorstep, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Was I expecting someone?"
Scatterland of Windraven, Peter Farmer, I believe.
Right, that's me. Yeah. What can I do for you?
We've come for your sword.
Sorry. You bear a weapon that we must come in possession. The Lord, the one true God, guides me on a mission to retrieve a dangerous tool. You carry a sword of fire which can guide us on our purpose.
What are your respective insight modifiers, everyone?
0.
+6.
+5.
All right, Tobias and Yelta, you see a look of utter delight and relief cross over Peter's face. Oh, you've come for the sword. All right, yeah, I'll get it. And he turns and, just leaving the door open, rushes inside. You hear a clattering of wood and scraping as a ladder comes out from the back room, and he like crashes into his alley, what's it called? His hallway, and then he puts the ladder up against and goes up, and then pushes a trapdoor open, disappears up into the attic. There's a rummaging and a clattering and a crash, and something smashes, and he goes, "Oh, God damn it!" And then he comes down with a long, heavy box that's made of wood, and he takes it over and plonks it down on the ground, and he says, "Right, well, there you are then. Does it belong to you now? Is it yours?"
I expect Crow will take it off me. I'm not going to receive
You, seeing how keen this man is to retrieve this and hand it off, I simply go, "I believe this is something that should belong to a lord," and I just take it and immediately hand it to Tobias.
It belongs to you then, does it, sir?
I believe this young man could probably benefit from wielding this weapon.
And we hand it to Yalta.
Yalta, you get handed a large long box long enough to hold a longsword in it.
Oh, Jalta feels the heft of it. May I open this?
But please, be my guest. It's yours. It's yours, right? It belongs to you now, so it's yours.
So he
step back a little bit.
Puts it down, unclasps it, opens it. And what do we see?
And Jalta, you see, Michael. What does he see?
The sword you hold in your hand seems to bear these quite distinct leather markings with runes etched around the handle. The pommel appears to be some sort of crystal inset to iron. As you hold onto it, you think for a moment you hear these muffled sounds, and as you draw the blade from its sheath, you hear this booming shwing.
Do we hear that out loud, or just I hear it?
Definitely out loud, like super loud.
And the rest of you see Peter groan and roll his eyes.
Peter, I knew that you would one day return and verily draw forth the blade that is known as Salazar. I knew within you beat the heart of a true adventurer. Wait, you're not Peter. Who are you?
No, I'm over here.
Yeah.
I'm over here. You belong to this gentleman now, so.
But Peter, we were supposed to go on many adventures. Verily, I was supposed to rise you through the path of legend.
Yeah, we've talked about this many a time, and I'm not cut out for it, so.
Yes, your dear wife. How is she?
She's hard at work, and you hear a voice from the kitchen go, "Oh God, you didn't get it down, did you, Peter?" "No, I didn't, Susan. Well, I did, but there was a gentleman had to come to the door. They've taken it away. He belongs to them now." And she goes, "Oh, is that right? Can I get you a cup of tea, love?" And she comes outside. No, they won't be staying. They'll be taking him and going.
Good lady farmer, it is a pleasure to see you again. It feels as though it has been many moons since last we were acquainted.
Yeah, many moons, but not enough. Right, I better get back to my dinner. And she walks through back to the
But are you sure, Peter? Peter, Listen to me very carefully. Within you burns the heart of a true and noble hero.
I think
This
maybe...
place is a place for pigs, not including your wife.
Whoa, that's not... That's one of the reasons you're going.
But nonetheless, Peter, look, Peter, look out into the vast distance. Stare at it. Gaze into that horizon and know that there is a place for you among the annals of truth and justice.
Right, well, you guys better be going then. That's getting late, isn't it? So, it's been lovely having you.
Meanwhile, Jaltar is just holding this sword and looks at Peter and looks towards the kitchen and looks at everyone and says, I feel like I'm the fourth wheel of a third wheel relationship here, and just gently puts the sword back down. And
No, that's yours now. That's yours. Salazar, he's a lovely gentleman. You'll love his company. He'll keep you company all the time, no matter the hour of the day. He'll talk to you. So he's got lots of stories to tell. I'm sure you'll enjoy hearing them. Right you are then, and he walks over and puts the lid back on the box and picks it up, puts it back in your hands, like forces it against your chest, Jaltar. So, best be seeing you then.
Well, Peter, it appears as though our journey has indeed...
This is coming from a muffled inside a box. He's just still talking.
Well, we seem to have found our guide. It's somewhat more charismatic than I thought. Tobias is sort of a bit offended to not be the center of attention.
I've only ever heard stories of swords with soul. This is new for me.
Can you wield it?
There's a voice at the door that says, "Is that him? Hey, it's the sword again! Salazar, it's me, it's Lagan!" And you remember meeting him like 9 months ago or something. What you do? Get out! He's cool. He's really cool. He can do some really cool things.
I take the young boy and disembark him from my horse.
Come on, get him out!
Right, listen.
Does anyone here actually wield a sword as their kind of primary weapon?
All right, everyone, that's Michael for the day. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, Michael.
And tune in next week. So that's...
yeah. And I also have here that he can turn into other weapons at will.
Horse spear?
It's like a Swiss Army blade.
Jaltar is proficient with the longsword. Just looking at D&D Beyond, a huge oversight is I have a mace with me and no actual. I can't use a mace, so for whatever reason in the D&D Beyond.
You're a cleric. You're a cleric. You can use a mace.
And yet my sheet's telling me that he doesn't wield a mace. He can wield a longsword. I'm not sure where that happened.
That's your half-elven nature.
Meanwhile, Rob's in D&D Beyond on your character sheet, just going. Proficient with sword.
Proficient with sword, not mace. Yeah, just the background. Anyway, so
I go grab the kid.
Carry Jaltar.
Since I've been charged with this sword of soul, I shall use it.
So you grab the sword, you equip it, and head back out. And Peter says, "Well, it would be lovely to keep you guys around for dinner, but maybe another time, eh? Bye then."
Thank you, Mr. Farmer, Mrs. Farmer. See you later. Should have
closes the door. Closes the door, and then there's a woohoo from inside.
Did we just get good morning? I think we just got good morning.
That's right.
So you have a sword that can apparently tell you where the other sword is that you're looking for.
Draw it, Jaltar. So address the sword, I suppose.
Jaltar is going to sort of just hold this thing and look at it like, so, sword, what do you call yourself? Oh, sorry. I put the box down. I open the box. I get the sword back out. So. Sword, what do you call yourself? No, we're not. We're just here. You don't need that thing now. We're just here. What's on the radar? I mean, what do you call yourself?
Take it out of the scarab, man.
Okay, hang on. So, okay. So, sword. So, sword, you appear to talk. What do you call yourself? Your line is...
I am the great sword Salazar, the sword of many masters.
Right.
Is that because so many people died wielding you, or so many people have given you away?
Pick one.
There's a small chip in his pride that appears as he As he
sorry,
turns and says,
sorry, Rob.
I-
Sorry, Rob. I don't want to open and break the game. I've just noticed a comment in the Twitch, and we need to say this. Someone just said you hear the sound of 20 latches coming from inside the hut.
Yeah. There's a button pressed, and like these Iron Man doors come across.
Sorry, please continue.
Love it.
You, sir, you have the hands of a warrior. Has anyone told you that there is greatness that beats within your heart?
Only someone that was trying to get me to pick up the tab.
Ah, I see. And how heavy was this tab? Was it 5, 6 ton? Did it require 10 men to lift up the one? Ah, yes, truly I have found the hands of either a calloused lumberjack or a true warrior. I am Salazar, and I hereby swear an oath to thee that for no less than 365 days I shall serve as your mighty weapon and guide you on the path of true heroism. Also, hello. I noticed that you are in the company of others. I'm terribly
Greetings.
sorry.
Tobias Skedadan. Good to meet you. Make your acquaintance, Salazar.
Ah, you speak with an eloquent tongue, born from noble birth. It seeps from your very soul.
You flatter me. Keep going.
Ah, yes, and your attire is, of course, quite as grand. You, by the way, Jatar, should dress better, Jaltar. Look and take notes. One does not simply walk around dressed as a farmer, as he kind of...
Oh.
Gestures towards
Does
the
the
house.
sword obviously have eyes, or does it have expressions, or does it glint, or how do we?
It's more of a psychic resonance. You kind of get the idea of emotion and expression through both the gleam on it and through just the tone in which it speaks.
And is
But
this something that,
no visible face.
is this something, Rob, that rich people would have had in the proper parts of town, like, or is it incredibly rare?
Incredibly rare to have sentient
So
weapons. It definitely not rare enough that you wouldn't have heard of them. They are the thing of legend. There are numerous around the world of various different origins and things. Usually they are the leading cause of adventurers dying because people go out looking for sentient swords and where they went and whatever happened to them and stuff. So it's rare to have one in your person.
Well, excellent to make your acquaintance, great weapon. I'm sure there are many grand tales for you to tell, but not now. The one true Lord has led me on a mission to retrieve a partner weapon of yours, an equally famous blade.
You speak of my brother Fulbring.
Yes, Fulbring. Yes, Fulbring. Yes.
Yes.
As the realization occurs to Salazar that the only reason you have been sought out is so that they can use you to find your brother.
Oh, I see.
Salazar, you are terribly important. This is a vital part you are to play in this journey. Guide us indeed towards your brother, lest apparently terrible things happen to the entire
Are you
world.
sure? Are you sure you don't want to go on another quest? I know some quite grand ones. Giant dragons, purple worms. I have many.
We could, but the dungeon master might start crying.
I
There's
have.
one involving
If you've ever witnessed me D&Ding for the Viva La Dirt League guys, you know I can adapt.
I must say I'm frankly interested in this weapon, Fulbring,
Oh yes, everyone talks about Fulbring. Oh, Fulbring this. Oh, Fulbring the holy sword. Look at me. Oh, I was the first forged by the great fire giant. No one cares for Salazar just because Salazar's got a personality. Have you tried to talk to Fulbring? He has an absolute bore. The most interesting thing he's ever worked his way out of is apparently a strip of whetstone.
Excellent. Well, I shouldn't cast aspersions on something I'm not familiar with, but yes, apparently you can tell us the direction to Fulbring and give us some kind of guidance, a pointer,
Yes.
as it were.
Yes, of course I can.
You pointed at the end.
Look. I'm gonna get real with you, okay?
Yes.
I've been trapped in that man's basement. Oh, in his attic for a year.
Oh.
Before that, I was cast around, left in a ditch. I spent many years in the bowels of a dragon's treasure. Do you know what a dragon's behind smells like? Because I do. Very, very personally. Because they lie on their treasure. Directly on it.
Salazar, there are orcs to be slain. There are black masters of the orcs to wield you against. There is mighty tales to be gathered. But time is of the essence. Only with your intelligence, skill, and sharp blade will we prevail. I beg of you, lead us to your poor defenseless brother, so that we may make great legends with you at the title of them.
Wait, you mean Fullbring needs my help? I
We
am to
all
save Fullbring?
need your help to rescue him from the
What
arse
the
of
hell
some
with that
orc.
bastard? I shall be the Fullbring saver, the hero of Fullbring, Salazar,
Grant,
savior of the holy sword.
Grant,
I like this.
Grant, you have inspiration for knowing perfectly how to manipulate one of the other characters.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
I suddenly
Very
realized
well.
why I hired Crow.
Salazar,
well.
have you ever been rescued by your brother?
Never, and it
There
never
we
will
are.
happen, for I am truly mighty.
Now,
But should you wish to find my brother, then simply do this. Bang me on a rock.
I beg your pardon.
Look, just say a magic word and bang me on a rock. Just-
Okay. So what is this magic word?
I don't know, just abracadabra, something, just to make it cool. I just kind of
Okay. So Joltar stands back a little bit and he may I heft you, Salazar?
Yes, you may heft me. Heft away.
Had the time of my life. No, I have the power. No, that's not it. So he picks it and he hefts Salazar and swings him around, and then finds a rock that won't in the hope that it's not going to shatter when he does it.
There's one nearby.
A swing, and it brings it down and gives it a good tap, not a real big hit, but a good tap. And then,
As he hits the stone, Salazar begins to vibrate. And as this happens, almost like a dowsing rod, his entire body begins to pull and point in a direction towards the mountains.
Correct. Yes, your body, the body starts to pull towards the mountains,
Right.
and it starts
Towards
to
the
resonate.
mountains.
Yes, towards the mountains.
That's great. We were going that direction anyway. Can you narrow it down a little bit for us?
Well, let's head closer, and I imagine the margin of error will reduce as we approach the
Thank
thing.
God,
Okay.
let's just go.
Feels about to you, Salazar. You can tell that it is. You can tell the pinpoint direction and the fact that it's about 8 miles away.
Yes,
Alrighty.
it is 8 miles in this direction.
So,
Also, try not to use that too many times. Every time I get hit too hard, it causes me to peanuts.
Should I put you back in the sheath then?
Sparrow Flyaway points out that the sword must have a nose at some sort of.
Joltar. Now we're all on. We've got horses with us. Joltar is going to get his breastplate from his pack, put that on. From behind his the other side, he's going to get out his shield that you can see. It's got a big eye on it. He's going to sort of put that on his arm. And he's going to then put it away and then get back on the horse and then pull it out and put it on his arm. And he's going to pick up the reins and he's going, right, let's do this.
Crow goes to get back on his horse, on which Lagan is already saddled, and he goes, right, let's go.
No, I grabbed the kid.
No, come on.
Wait. Right? You have taken a job to guide heroes to their destination, and you have been paid, and I'll just ting like his short sword. Take your payment, fulfill your contract, show some respect.
Of course.
Right. Now, take your sword home, be careful with it, and only wield it when you need to.
Of course.
Turn him around, smack him on the ass, climb on my horse.
And remember, if there isn't a path, you'll wield one yourself. And then he puts his sword down between his belt, and he starts strolling off back towards town, really chipper and happy that he's got his first job.
Right, we're off.
All right, so you all set off riding towards the mountains. Yalta, the sword in the sheath starts to get very hot as you reach about the edge of the farmland. It starts to get very hot, and then until it's almost unbearable, you look down to see Salazar starting to glow incandescent, and then poof, burst into flames.
Right.
It bursts into flames.
Going to draw it.
You draw it out, and it feels very light as you draw it out because the blade has turned into ash. The handle has turned into ash, and in a moment, Salazar has disappeared in a plume of smoke. And then in the distance from the farmhouse behind you, you hear, "Oh, for God's sake!" And Salazar, you realize you've only been in his attic about 9 months, and you are pledged to your heroes for an entire year, no less. Peter is going to have to come with you.
I have found my way home.
As you arrive on his lounge rug, and you're like, "I'm back, Peter. You need to come with us."
I have good news. We're going on a quest.
Cut to about an hour later, after you've all returned to the farmhouse and managed to very persuade a very reluctant Peter that he's going to have to come with you on this quest because it's the good of the entire world is at stake. And so Peter is now riding alongside you in his farming gear. He hasn't had time to change. He's still in overalls. But he just has like this scabbard at his side with a sword of Salazar in it. and he's just riding out with the most sour smacked ass face.
Now, Mr. Farmer, take opportunity where it comes. There is some purpose in this. My God would have not guided me on this pathway unless it was truly a pathway to glory and righteousness.
Wish I hadn't picked you up in the ditch that year ago. You just thought I'd be able to sell you, and then you came back after I sold you. Then I gave you away. I thought it was just an ownership thing, but no, it's kind of another 3 years. Yeah.
Don't worry, Peter. First of all, it's only for another few months. And by that stage, I will truly shape you into the great man you are supposed to be. And of course, after which, I shall journey with Jaltar for a whole year as we carve our legend through this land.
And so we cut to you guys riding up into the mountains about half an hour or so later. The horses have started to slow, but you're trying to keep them at a larger pace, but it's just on the nature of it starting to get to a bit more of an incline into these mountains.
It's so hot.
It is pretty hot. Like going up into the mountains might be a bit of a relief for you because it is sort of late afternoon at this stage, and it's one of the hotter days of the year.
Oh, it's probably hot in the mountains too.
Yalta, you know that it's not too much further. Maybe another 20 minutes or so till the area where you got ambushed. Is there anything you'd like to do or talk about on your journey to the ambush?
I will. Yes and not really. I will, occasionally sing a halfling song, not well, but as we get closer, I will kind of give the stop, quiet sort of, and let everyone know that we're another say a little ways up here, and it'll be the point where I returned from.
So yes, the pinnacle of my destiny.
You get to within a couple of minutes of it, and then as you round the last corner, knowing that this is indeed where the ambush was, you see that you're in an alleyway, valley. You're in a valley.
That's what the pestle of the builder. The alley with the valley of the valley.
The vessel with the pestle in the you see this rockfall, this landslide in front of you that had blocked off part of this valley, and that was the thing that had been artificially forced to happen to block you off. And then they tried to do so in return as well on the back end to block you in the middle of this alley, and they were unsuccessful with the return, which is why you managed to get back to Holdover. You round the corner, you all instantly can tell the sign of a battle. There are many orcs laying slain around the place, probably at least a dozen. And there is a lot of blood. None of the orcs have any weapons on them, and there is no sign of your man or Jessica.
There's a sword lying in this. Do we pick it up and take it back?
Yeah. So you find Fullbring. Fullbring is there. You pick it up, you take it back. Thanks for joining us, guys. So...
Yeah.
It saved you discounts.
Crow will disembark.
I
a hand.
It's too hot to stay on the horse.
To stay back, and brandishing my spear, will quietly step forward, looking for any other ambushes and or untoward events.
Make a perception check for me.
Alrighty. Woohoo! 4.
You see a bunch of orc bodies and hear a very faint whistling of wind through the valley, but nothing else.
I'm going to stride forward. I have a cloak that falls straight from my shoulders just to like a couple of inches from the ground, so it will sweep out beautifully as it catches the wind as I stride. And I'm going to lean down and investigate the orcs for any kind of religious symbology.
What part of stay there did you not understand?
Make an investigation check.
Excellent.
You can make it.
I have religion +5 is what I was sort of hoping.
I was considering that. It's. I guess I will accept religion actually as well.
Okay. I got 17 if it's religion.
Yeah, 17 religion. So the first thing you notice is that there's a lot of blood around. The second thing you notice is that not all of it is fresh. In fact, very little of it is fresh. The blood that has seeped out of these slain orcs seems to have come from very efficient wounds that have cut them and killed them in a single attack, as to save time from when fighting. You don't need to, if you can kill them in a single blow, you don't need to spend time with too many of them. So they've been killed very efficiently, and so they've bled very little. However, they are covered in blood, dried blood for the most part. And their faces, every one of them, has blood down their face, as in track marks, as though been dragged across their face by fingers. With a 17 religion, you would know that this is a very niche form of worship to Grumsh. This is a clan of orcs, and Crow, you would probably know some of this as well. Can you make a which would it be? Can you make a history check with advantage?
Ooh, with advantage.
I sort of mutter something about grunge to give him a clue.
Grumsh. So history with my incredibly average intelligence gives me 16.
16.
Nice.
Yeah, you would know a lot of this information as well. You would know that the orcs in the past used to be all over Drenwheel, the island that you're on. Yep. But there was a king of old that waged war on them and tried to extinguish them from the island entirely. He managed to drive them away from all areas except for the Drenwheel Ranges, the mountain range that runs through the middle of the island, where it was much too resource intensive to actually continue the war against them.
Right. Have these guys pulled their eye out?
No, they have not. You do notice that the orcs that went into the ranges sort of factioned off into various different clans, and then over the generations evolved into different kinds of worship. And the ones that you see before you, it fills you with a little bit of dread to recognize them as Blood Dwellers. They're a clan known as Blood Dwellers, or in the Orcish tongue, Obitakrovi. And you know that they worship in a way that requires ultra-violence. They practice blood magic, and they are exceptionally violent in their attacks. And quite hard to take down, because when you start to wound them, they get more strong.
So, Crow, these wounds, do you think they would have been made by Jaltar's companions? Or have they been sacrificed?
Some have. But, no, I think most of this is the skill of a swordsman.
Yeah, you would recognize that a lot of it seems to have been the attack. The people who were being attacked were very skilled as swordsmen, but
like they did well. Are there any patches of blood where there's a human shape sort of splodged on the ground?
Yeah, you get the general layout. You sort of use your tactical knowledge and think like, okay, well, where would I situate myself if I was going to make an attack in this kind of a valley? And you think, okay, well, they would have obviously be down in the levelest part of the valley when they were attacked. So it doesn't take you long to find the scuff marks of the horses where they've been turned around and whatnot. And of course, being that Yaltar went back on one of the horses, but not the ones that were brought by the two Knights of Kavosna, it doesn't take you long to find one slain horse right down by the actual fallen rocks. Only one of them, though. Only one slain horse. There would have been another.
No human bodies. Yeah.
No human bodies.
And no weapons dropped or anything? But...
No. Not a single weapon you can see.
Well, Salazar, quietly, if you would, since we're in dangerous circumstances, can you tell us a direction of perhaps we should do the rock bangy thing again, Jaltar?
Salazar is currently in a sheath.
Doesn't Salazar rest in the possession of Peter?
Ah, yes. Sorry, indeed.
That's right.
Yes, Peter, Mr. Farmer.
Right.
Yes.
Are you getting him out then?
Will you wield Salazar boldly against a stone so he would clang out and guide us?
Gladly, he says, and he gets off the horse and he draws him from the sheath.
Swing!
and then over the top of his head, smacks him as hard as he can against a rock.
Ow!
Ooh, that hurts. Ooh, don't do that again.
Aha! Verily, Peter, it seems as though your swing has improved. Those lessons must truly be paying off. My brother lies just over yonder. I sense his presence.
His hand is taken in that direction, and he feels like he's about 1.5 miles away.
We have to clamber over this rockfall to get there. Would the
Seems
horses
like it.
go?
Yeah.
Would the horses have to stay behind?
The horses will either have to stay behind, or if you can come up with some creative way of getting them across, you can. You can either try and clear the rockfall or climb across it. Or something else.
I mean, I can move 5 squared meters of rock, but that's probably not really worth spending the time.
Yeah, you can do so. It'll just be a matter of whether you need the time or not. It'll
1.5 miles of walking in this heat. Oh my goodness me! I'm not sure I signed up for this, but let's go forward.
At this
Hang on a
point,
second.
like you've
Could we lead the
been
horses
noticing.
over?
Sorry, go on. You go.
Sorry, could we lead the horses over this?
It would take you a lot of time to try and find a way to get the horses over, but you could do it if you took the time for him with his moving of rock, with his magic spells, and then you could potentially make some sort of a step that the horses could get up and over.
No, let us go on foot, I suppose.
Peter,
Yeah.
stab one of the orcs.
Right. And Peter almost unwillingly just his hand jolts out of his socket almost as the sword stabs right through one of the orcs.
Num, 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 num. No, I don't.
You've got a tongue as well.
Well, he makes the sound. He says, I would like to try and ascertain as to how fresh these bodies are.
Sure thing. Can you make a
Due
medicine
to the wound
check?
I've just placed inside it.
This wound seems very
Quite
fresh.
It's
Can you-
quite fresh.
Can you
fresh maker.
make a medicine check, please?
We are.
Salazar, the fresh
That is a
maker.
10.
A 10. Doesn't take long. The body is still relatively warm. It's to the point where you'd think they died within the last between 2 and 3 hours ago, somewhere around there.
So is that more recent than Jaltar's?
However long? No, it does seem. However long it is that it's
Coincides.
been since Yaltar's attack,
cool.
it seems to coincide with that.
I shall climb the rocks.
All right.
Yes.
Wait, before you do, large master Viking, I have something to say.
I'm a Celt, not a Viking.
Oh, large master Celt. I didn't get your name first time, but Mr. Celt, listen. It is very important that we band together. For you see, even though Peter is the mightiest among
I climb the rocks.
every single one of you, and I will continue. Every single one of you brings
Coming
an
up.
important piece to this equation. One that will, of course, allow us all to strive to greatness. Not just Peter, but each of us.
Yeah.
And together we will find my
I attach a
brother
rope,
Fulbring.
throw rope down to the guys.
Can I get Peter's hand and just put the sword back in the sheath and then follow Crow?
I cast motivational speech, but just as I'm about to give everyone a plus 10 hit point bonus and advantage on their next attacks.
No!
The spell slot.
You see the scabbard glow brightly for a second.
Scabbard is very brave.
The spell slot is not extinguished as you were interrupted before you finally cast it.
Very well.
But yeah, you did
Should
not
I
manage
say
to get
sorry
the
or no?
So to get if you're choosing to get over it rather than clear it or go under it or around it or anything like that, if you're choosing to go over it, then it's going to be a skill check, a group DC. I need everybody to make an athletics check.
Well, like I said, I was going to go up first, drop a rope down for everybody else.
So if you have a high enough, if you have a high enough athletics, that will be accounted for in the fact that you've taken that away from the group DC.
Oh,
I'm gonna just make a roll.
Peter gets a 9.
oh, well, there you go.
Peter gets a 9 as
17.
he's climbing around up and slips a couple of times, but the sword the hilt spins around and catches a piece of rock.
Nice.
It helps him clamber.
Crow starts us off with a 21.
So there was a 21 and a 9 makes 30, and then there was a 17 from one of you, right?
Yes.
Takes us to 47, and then what's the other person got? I'm not seeing
What's
it.
Peter get?
I'm not seeing
Natural
it. Was it a
one.
nat 1? So that takes us
Peter
to
has
it.
some strength. So
What's your?
that
It
would
is
be
a.
4.
It is a check.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
is
Thanks
a.
for
It is.
playing.
It is a check, not an attack. So you do still
Okay.
get to add your athletics modifier
Okay.
if you
so
have
that's
one.
That's then 2.
2. So that takes us from 47 to 49. The DC was 50. So you literally, any one of you rolling one more would have got you over the thing without a hitch. As it is, one of you's
fall.
you are basically each of you is going to make a. Let's see. No, in fact, it'll just be the person who rolled the lowest. So Yalta, you slip a couple of times and you take a total of. Oh, thankfully I rolled.
May I, as I slip,
Yes.
say a dirty dwarf word and use Misty Step to get to the top?
You absolutely may. You avoid taking any bludgeoning damage from slipping off the rock and rocks tumbling onto you.
Jaltar lose his grip. You hear this large and he just claps out of existence and appears on the top of the rocks next to a
Missed.
crow.
He does, however, take humiliation damage.
Oh yeah, I will take that humiliation damage and I will eat it for breakfast.
All right, you have traversed the rock fall. As you were doing so, you noticed that there was blood up and over the rocks, seemingly from wounded orcs or dragged human bodies, perhaps, being dragged up and over this rock fall as well.
Tobias, almost literally has an asthma attack once he gets to the top, because that's climbing thing. And he sits down and has to take almost literally a short rest. So yeah.
Yeah, thankfully you're one of the first to the top, so that you're second after Crow. So you managed to catch your breath by the time that Peter has clambered up as well. Peter's pretty athletic, being that he's working on a farm from sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
So he's managed to make his way over as well.
Okay.
So you continue on foot up this mountain path. How long have we been going, by the way? Is anybody keeping track? Do we need a little break there?
We could
We got 10 minutes to the halfway point.
Cool. We'll get you to the next little thing that you're seeing, and then we'll have a little bio break.
Excellent.
So, anything else you wanted to do as you continue on along this path? According to Salazar's internal connection to his mithril brother, you're about 1.5 miles away from him.
Okay, well, I'm definitely taking the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I suggest that Tobias take his keen eyes and wise view to the back of the party.
So flattered I do precisely that.
I might sort of walk up and sort of stand alongside Crow.
And just while we're going along, what is your skill set, Yalta?
I have some battle about me, but I am more of defend and help.
Right.
I'm quite happy to dawdle or sort of lag behind. That's fine. I'm like Mr. Divine Damage stacked on Divine Damage stacked on Divine Damage.
Are you a caster or a warrior?
So Jaltar is a cleric.
Right. Okay. So
Bit of both.
Bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yep. I will. Yeah, I'm gonna sort of just keep an eye out. I'm not particularly good at it. Of all the skills I didn't take perception for some reason.
Go at the front.
What? And he draws you out of the blade. What are you saying?
Swing!
Ah,
By the gods, will you just?
I have a very keen eye, even though it happens to be completely made of metal. I can sense things at a great distance, and Peter is truly mighty. He should travel in front.
as Peter's reluctant to do so, the sword yanks him to the front, and he just kind of walks with the sword out in front.
I believe in Peter. Peter is the man who knows how to fight. Swinging me, the great Salazar.
And Peter seems to be conducting this song as he's walking and Salazar's singing.
I look longingly back at the rock fall.
All right, so as you go, I need I need, let's see, so the people at the front would be Peter / Salazar and Crow. Can you guys make perception checks for me, please? I'll make one for Peter, you make one for the sword, and Crow.
I did take
23.
perception. My
So do you
apologies.
want Jaltar to make a perception as well? Sorry.
You at the front too?
Yes.
Yeah, go
Well,
on
I
then.
was before Peter sort of pushed through
pushed past, yeah.
Jaltar and Crow.
Yeah, you can make one as well.
20 total.
20 total. Salazar?
Uh,
Salazar, did you make a perception check?
Yeah, 23.
23, nice.
21.
Oh, wow, everybody's getting the 20s. Peter got above 22. Above 20 as well. So even despite the singing that's sort of drowning out some of the mountain sound, a few of you with the keener ears, the ones at the front, you hear the sounds of.
Grab Salazar and say, quiet.
You grab his hand and you.
Your foe is near, Salazar. Silence in the night so that we may take the advantage.
Well, it's about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's a turn of phrase, I think.
Oh,
He
right,
means
right. Yes. Subterfuge.
yeah, he means shut up.
Oh, right.
So, can we listen carefully and zero in on at least a quadrant of direction towards?
Yes. So you are still on sort of a mountain path, not really a valley at this stage so much as a
Sideline.
but it's starting to level off. You're no longer going up. You're going through like more of a level ground with mountains on either side, and you realize this is why holdover passes through here, is because it doesn't require as much mountain climbing. Yalta, you would probably know just from what you were told about the ruins you were going to investigate that you're probably getting close. This is about the region you were tasked with heading in the first place for the Hemoclast ruins. They're somewhere around here. Let's see, Salazar, you can feel that your brother is pretty close, probably around 200 yards away.
He is near. I can feel him quaking in his scabbard.
These are outer guards, and we should take them out very quietly so as not to attract all the others at once.
So what you are saying is we must strike them so powerfully and decisively that not even the sounds of their small, smoldering lives leaving their mortal core can be heard. I understand completely. Whoosh!
And with that, the sword illuminates in fire, a roaring flame. And that is where we'll come back to after the break. I'll take us to the Be Right Back screen, and we'll go for a bio break. We'll probably be back in, what do you guys think, 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Let's do 5.
Let's do 5 minutes. I'm enjoying the story.
See you soon.
See you soon, guys.
See you, everyone.
And that is how the orc armies were slain. Well done, everybody. We did it. Were we not on the whole?
Oh,
damn!
damn
We're gonna have to do the whole thing again, guys. Let's go for the top.
Okay,
Take
let's do it
two.
again.
Pretend it's the first time you've done it.
Yes.
I won't roll so many 20s this time.
All right. So we ended off with Salazar misunderstanding the cue to be stealthy and quiet in taking out these orcs, illuminating the longsword that Peter is holding and making Peter wince. Oh, you hate it every time he does that. What do the rest of you like to do? It seems
just
like
describe the scene exactly for us and for our audience in case they've forgotten as well.
So you are in a plains of a mountain range. You're on a mountain pass that is somewhat level at this stage. There is a rather large mountain wall off to your right, but lots of flat open plain land off to your left.
Mm-hmm.
The mountain range on the large mountain wall on your right is blocking view from round the bend, and that seems to be where the orc
is coming from.
volume is coming from. That is within 50 or so yards of you.
Okay.
According
and
to
there's no
Salazar,
sudden response from them as if they've seen the light or anything.
So in the very moment that the light illuminates, I'm asking what are your reactions to it as you're reacting at the same time as the orcs will be.
I take off.
Crow sets off around the corner towards the
in a
trouble.
silent lope.
All right, Yelta, what's your immediate reaction?
Before Crow leaves the area, I go, Lords of Below, protect us and give strength, and I cast Aid.
Oh, nice. Who are you casting Aid on? You can
Well,
target
it says-
3 people, I believe.
Three. Well, there's 3 of us,
There's
so
4. Are you casting it on yourself?
yeah.
So who's
and the sword.
missing out? Oh, not the
and
sword.
that's right, we got Peter. Sorry, we got Peter.
You got
as well.
you got Peter and the sword, which are counting as like one character. But the sword is like for all mechanical intents and purposes, Salazar is a character.
Okay, cool. So we need Salazar to find our way. So Salazar, we need Peter to wield Salazar. So if Peter's not gone, I collect Salazar. Yeah, that's a 50-50. No, sorry, Peter, Salazar, and now Tobias and Crow look fairly well. So myself.
See yourself. All right. And Tobias, what's your initial reaction?
I'm going to lope forward after Crow at half the speed and twice the volume and cast Spiritual Guardians.
All right. Nice. What does it look like when you cast spells?
So my staff, my beautiful holy symbol, the sun on the top of my staff, lights up brightly as well, me being also unsubtle and pretentious. And flowing out of it come streams of literal burning holy divine light, which are just a flowing bands of perfect bodiless holiness.
Nice.
And they will wind and sweep around me.
Oh, very nice.
Just like my blonde hair.
Crow, can you make a stealth check so that I can see how quietly you're managing to run?
Ooh, this is decidedly average. Stealth. There we go. Oh, I got thingy. I took it. So that's 15.
Perfectly appropriate at that moment that you said you got 15. Half of you disappeared into invisibility as you cast Cat of Invisibility on yourself. So you get 15. That's not bad. I'm going to roll to see if the orcs who were chatting and laughing amongst themselves did in fact hear the loud noise from the other side. One of them did not. The other one got even lower, and the third did not either. So they actually were stupid orcs, it seems, for the time being, which had helped your current situation. Crow, you're the first round the corner. You see that about 150 yards away from you, in view now, is a large set of stone ruins. What seems to have once been a temple, but has been long since destroyed, maybe hundreds of years. Very little of it still stands. Inside said temple ruins, there is clearly a campfire lit, as there is smoke coming up from inside of it, and inside and around the ruins there are many orcs, probably around about 24 or so. The closest 3 of which have snuck off over here to have a little chinwag and a smoko. That's a New Zealand term for having a break.
Yeah, Aussies
as well.
Break. That's right.
Yeah, a bit of a break. Just for international listeners, you got to describe what a smoko is. So they're having a little bit of a smoko, which is going to be the last worst decision they've ever made. As round the corner, tearing around the corner, you're probably around 30 feet from them at this stage. They do not see you coming, so you will have the surprise on them. But we will roll initiative. Everybody roll an initiative, and you guys will be considered to have a surprise on these 3 orcs.
14.
All right, that was a 14 for Benjamin, right?
30-20.
14, 20 for Grant. Heath?
20.
20.
Dirty 20.
Michael?
11.
11 for Salazar, who rolls, who decides for Peter as well. Crow and Heath, Crow and Yalta, sorry. Which of you have the higher dexterity modifier?
2. Heath, what's your dex mod?
It paused. Sorry, 1. So that would be your to Crow.
All right. So Grant, you'll be going first. Heath, you'll be following, and then Ben, and then Michael. And I will roll for the orcs. Hey, nat 20.
Ah!
All right. So the orcs will actually be first. As you come tearing around the corner, they don't seem to see you until the last minute, as the one of them sort of looks over your way, and you see this huge hulking 6'3", maybe 6'4" or so creature that's built like a brick outhouse, shall we say, and has blood down its face, topless, and has a great axe just like on the ground next to him. And he says, let's go work on this guy. And they see you coming, but that will be their surprise will mean that they don't get to take an initiative. Grant, it is now your turn.
Cool. Do I get advantage?
You are within 30 feet of them, but they have, because they beat you in initiative, it's still a round where they are no longer surprised now, but they've already had their turn.
Okay.
They've now seen
Cool.
you coming.
Well, I will close 30 feet and cast Stabbity.
You cast Stabbity in the ribs. Super effective.
All right. So first attack. Back to character sheet. So that's 17.
17 will hit.
Doing. Oh, I need to think about my other stuff. Cool. Sorry. When you hit with a weapon attack, you can do. I'm going to do a disarming attack on him.
Ooh, nice. He has
DC
to roll
14.
strength save.
DC 14.
That is a fail. Just.
Right. So if he lives through this.
Yeah. You get to add your superiority modifier. So people watching at home that don't understand what's going on, Grant is playing a Battlemaster fighter, and they have like maneuvers they can do to augment their attacks, and he's trying to disarm him as he strikes him.
Yeah. So I hit him for 14 points of damage.
Ooh, all right.
Nice.
And then he drops his weapon, which you would as well if you were cut in two. As you strike your spear all the way through his chest, the winged tips on it, the boar hunter aspect, cracks a couple of ribs, and he drops his weapon to the ground as he goes limp on the blade and falls to the ground.
Okay, next hit is a 17.
A 17 will hit.
As
you put your foot up against his chest and pull the spear back out of him.
Swing it around. There are 3 of them?
There are 3 of them standing here.
All right. In that case, I will again disarm. Another 14. Oh, don't bother. Don't bother. That's 18 damage.
He made his save though, so his corpse keeps a hold of his blade. He falls to the ground. His great axe falling on the side of him.
I will then action surge.
Ooh, nice.
And does a 17 and a 23 to hit.
Yep, they will both hit.
And he takes 12 and then 6 points of damage.
All right, so from the first one, it heavily wounds him. It looks like he sort of grabs your spear as if he's going to try and keep it and fight back, and then you pull it out and stab it right through the throat. He goes limp, and then you just kind of shake him off the edge of your spear.
Yeah.
And all three of their bodies hit the ground.
Flick the blood out.
Blood spurting from him and mingling with the blood that's already dried on his face.
Yeah. And then I will drop crouched, ready to see what happens next.
All right. So that was all relatively quick and speedy and silent. So I'm just rolling a few perceptions, but with disadvantage here, just to see. Ooh, that one would have been
pretty
a 20.
shiny.
Yeah, pretty shiny, and there was a big whooshing flame that suddenly took out. But thankfully for the people over in the temple, it was covered by a rock, and like 150 yards away. So it seems at this stage you duck and get into a fighting position, and you're looking for movement coming your way. It doesn't seem there is any.
Great.
I'm going to take these 3 orc minis that I'm using as counting how many orcs there are, so that I can keep it all theatre of the mind. I'm going to put them over here to say that they're dead now.
Great.
All right. Technically, we are out of initiative order immediately because
there are other orcs in an encampment that are about 100 feet away now.
150 yards away, so about 450
feet.
Oh, it sounds like a terrible long way to go in this heat.
Yes, you walk around, you have a look over to the ruins, and sure enough, Jaltar, you can see that these ruins are the ruins that you were coming to check out in the first place.
Is there an overwhelming number of them, or like a dozen? Or...
It depends what you consider overwhelming. It looks like there's about 24 or so of them. From what you can see, there may be more inside the ruins.
Let's quickly wind our way through these ruins.
All right. Well done, Crow. That was well done.
Yes.
Do you require any help? Although you look...
All the blood is theirs.
Excellent.
Right.
All right. What's your plan then, guys?
See, Peter, this is what you need to be doing.
No, I think he can do it. He's fine at that. Also, you're very hot.
Thank you. I think you're quite fetching yourself.
You know what I meant. You're literally on, like, it's burning.
Oh, terribly sorry. Whoong.
Right. Can you stay?
I don't know what the opposite of whoosh is.
It takes it down to a low simmer, like you've turned the hob way down to the lowest most.
Yeah, so just on my guard, it's like...
Yeah.
Stay on simmer, Salazar.
My spirit spins lasts for 10 minutes, so we can take a few moments to get there.
You've got enough time to get over there. Anything that lasts for 1 minute only. How long does aid last?
Aid actually lasts for
long time, eh?
8 hours.
I figured.
Yeah.
So aid and spiritual
points,
weapons.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Your hit point max and your current hit points both increased by 5.
5.
How long would it take us to cross this distance, roughly?
450 feet, so depends on your speed. If your average speed of 30, that'd be what, like, that's 15 rounds. 15 rounds, or with a dash, 7.5 rounds.
A bit. 7.5 if we book it.
If you dash, you can get there in less than a minute, but you would obviously be announcing you're incoming.
Yeah, very well. As we are walking, Salazar says, "Have I told you of the time that the great fire giant, the great Drake Slayer..."
Are we charging or are we stealthing?
Up to you.
Let us walk with purpose on the pathway of destiny that the one true Lord has laid out in front of us.
What he said.
Crow considers the bag of gold on his hip and wonders, weighs it up in his mind in the scale within Crow's mind. On one side is the bag of gold, and on the other side is putting up with this dude.
Yeah, his word versus sanity. All right, I'm gonna break to about 20 feet to the left, and I'm gonna move in. If we're heading in, I'm moving. I'm
just walking. Yeah. Heath is frozen.
Is frozen.
In which these orcs and their leader dispatched the 2 that were escorting me, I say caution rather than blind charge. Let us approach quickly and quietly.
Yes.
You do recall
emphasis on quickly and emphasis on quietly.
Tobias is no fool. He's not a level 1 sap. He has seen a lot of battle and he's worked in a lot of teams. So you kind of see him become more smooth, more almost slip into a mode as he's quickly cutting through the ruins, keeping line of sight down as much as possible. I mean, he's not Mr. Stealthy, but he can move with purpose and design.
You make it the first 100 yards or so. You make it the first 100 feet or so, without any chance of them hearing you. It seems like with your passive clinking and things, you're holding your arms over the bits of your armor that move, so as to reduce the amount of noise you're making. And after about 100 feet, you make it to the edge of where this ruined village once began. Jaltar, with your passive understanding of archaeology and your instant recognition of ancient works, you can't help but look around you and sort of start analysing, even in spite of yourself in the danger of the situation. You start just instantly passively recognising the layout of this ruin, and how once upon a time it may well have been a village that was erected here. The first ruins you come across are the remnants of a wall, what would have been the outskirts of a town wall. And not only that, but you notice that the cut and weathering of the rock would be the sort of stonework you would expect in a Goliath village. It's quite likely that this was once a Goliath village. As you get closer, you're starting to get to, I'll say you make it another 50 or so feet without having to make any sort of checks. Now you're about 300 feet away. At a regular walking speed, you'll be able to make it that distance in a minute. At a dash, you'll be able to cross the distance in 5 rounds or 30 seconds. At this stage, you have the opportunity to try and stealth, because there's ruins between you and the temple. The old workings of regular other buildings that would have been in this town. So you have the option to stealth, or you can just bucket and try and get the element
Well,
of
they
surprise.
spread out in various different places amongst the ruins. So if we were stealthy, we could possibly kill them if we were able to kill them on the first attack. Then
there are a small handful that are closer to you than the temple, but the vast majority of them seem to be at the temple.
Let's
I
stealth
have a
them.
question.
As Salazar or as Michael?
Salazar.
What is it?
You, Master Celtic, have the arms of a giant that slay many orcs in single blows. Why do we walk around as though we are trembling, quivering chickens hiding from a fox? Why do we not barrel forth and unleash your full might upon these unsuspecting curs?
2 arms, 20 orcs.
Yes.
Didn't
However,
you
only
say
4 will be able to hit you.
But
For
didn't
they
you
will
say
come from
that?
the front as you cleave 3.
But didn't your friend here say that he came with 2 very well equipped fighters and they got ambushed and taken out by these folk?
Yeah,
right?
I just took out 2 mooks having a smoko, right?
Yes.
Within there is some guy chained to his minions casting dark magic,
Yes.
right?
No
Is that
need
what
for
you
rash
said?
Actions.
So,
Tear away the enemies while one can, before one must face the bulk of the force.
I understand.
Every fool knows that.
I understand, but I need you to know that I believe in your strength, that you are more capable than you give yourself credit for, and you may
I'm
have a bardic
capable.
inspiration.
yeah.
Hey, who
Unless you don't want it.
you get the choice.
I've been
I'd
trying to
rather not.
cast this. I've been trying to cast these this whole time.
Nobody's taking it.
Nobody's taking him. And then this is why he is the sword of many masters. It's like no one wants his buff. Go away. So for the record, for the audience
Jaltar
as
grabs Peter's head. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Who are you
for the,
inspiring?
I'm going to be inspiring Crow.
Excellent.
Now I've also got
Crow, you can't do Crow because he wound off to the left as going more stealthy line, I believe.
Oh, this was as I was like sort
Yeah,
of
obviously.
talking. Yeah.
Yeah, bardic inspiration. I think is anyone within 60 feet or something. So
Okay,
he's
cool,
still
cool.
within
Correct.
range.
And
Shout.
in addition, I also have Unfailing Inspiration, which means that even if you apply my bardic inspiration, if you fail, you don't lose it.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So yes. By the way, I'm a bard.
Yeah.
Hey.
Surprise!
Surprise!
It all makes more sense now, the personality in particular. Excellent. So I'm going to stealth
He's an
I'm gonna
orator.
stealth while moving at normal speed.
All right. So if you're taking the stealthy approach as a group, then I'll need a stealth check. This is again a
I'm
group
going to
group
spend
skill
my
check.
bardic inspiration. How many dice is my bardic inspiration?
It's a D8, I think, at this level. Or is it
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
It is a D8.
Woohoo! Okay, so that's 11 plus.
So it's a group skill check again. We are aiming for
16.
a particular figure. So 16 total. Anybody else to add to it?
I have both disadvantage and a bonus of +0.
Peter gets a
Well.
5.
Peter gets a 5.
I get a 7.
You hit a 7.
I'm very shiny.
You guys
And
suck.
Jalta, sorry,
Sorry.
what'd you get?
Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of lag, and it all froze when you said what the roll was for.
Stealth.
Oh,
I'm remarkably lint-free, which probably attracts attention to me as well, I find, in crowds.
Like, oh my goodness.
15 for stealth.
Oh, not bad. Saving the group a little. Takes us up to a total of, if my maths is not mistaken, which it never is, unfaultingly.
Full addition.
That takes us up to a total of 43. 43. Unfortunately, is not enough. It's close to enough, so you do get close. So that does mean, that, though, Grant, that you get to keep that bardic inspiration because it's unfaltering. So you get close. I'll say that you were 300 feet away with that and the decent proximity to the DC that you were. I'll say that gets you to. You're about 50 feet away before somebody, before Peter being so reluctant and just dragged forwards by this sword, who's trying to be stealthy.
Peter, you're making too much noise.
yeah. Peter's reluctance forces Salazar to say something, which attracts the attention of the orcs nearby. You see a few of them standing outside the temple, sharpening their great swords on great axes on whetstones. They look over in your direction. Uskurga, Erkolach, ich komm wackert. And the alarm has been raised.
Spiritual weapon, as soon as I'm within 60 feet.
Boom! As soon as you're within 60 feet of them, the one that just shouted for apparently the name Erkolax. For anyone who speaks Orcish, any of you do speak Orcish?
No.
Nope. Nope. Well, then you don't know.
Let me just check. I do have comprehend languages. It lasts for a few hours, doesn't it?
Comprehend languages, I think, is an hour. Let me double check.
An hour?
My thingy here. Open comprehend languages is an hour. Yes.
Could I have potentially cast that between the first fight and the second one?
If you think you would, yeah. If you wanted to,
I reckon he would, because
he.
Yeah, Salazar would have definitely, like, just in case they were shouting orders at each other, like,
all right.
stuff.
I will allow that retcon. Yeah, you cast comprehend languages, and as you do so, as you approach this guy, you heard him shout, "Erkolax, we've got intruders. I think they'll come for the sword."
Nice.
Everybody, first before initiative, I need you to make a perception check.
20.
30-20. All right.
Wow. 14.
30-20.
15.
30-20 again, and a 15. All right, the two with.
Oh, my apologies. Only 18.
18 total. So that was a 18. Nobody got a 17? 17? No. So the 18 and the 20. As you're approaching this, and this sound alert to the orcs that all start to look in your direction, and especially once the call of alarm is set, the two with the higher ones also notice there is a dark-clad humanoid-looking figure, a little bit quite a lot on the smaller side than the orcs are, with a hood up covering his face. He seems to be around, they seem to be around 5.5-ish feet tall, and they're standing beside a jet black horse that is tied up. They also have a sword in a sheath in their hand. They're holding the scabbard of a sword and talking with a very large orc. You can't really see the large orc because he's covered. He's like more inside of the temple. From your location anyway.
So I haven't noticed that.
You have not. So only the people with the 18 or 20 noticed that. Can you now all roll initiative, please, and we will see how we go. This will not be a surprise for anyone.
11.
11 for that was Ben, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Grant gets 5.
Grant gets 5.
I mean, gosh darn it.
Heath.
2.
2%.
Sweet.
Come, Peter. Stop
Swing!
resisting. You'll only make it worse for yourself.
All right, so that is going to be, and then orcs are going to go. Actually, I don't need to roll for these because now that we're in this one, there's enough of them that I'm just going to put them in between you all. I will roll to see if anyone gets higher than you. No.
I did have it too until I remembered that Jaltar has a sentinel shield, so I get to re-roll. 16.
Nice.
Nice, very nice.
All right, these are going to be the Blood Dwellers, and then it is going to be Ben, and then it is going to be the Eye of Grush, and then it's, man, you all rolled terrible. And then, all right, and then finally, Michael bringing up the rear.
So if we reached, oh no, I suppose I wouldn't have cast Spiritual Weapon until they actually raised the alarm. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to them. You suddenly heard them call out an alarm, and that's the moment that told you, hey, they've seen us.
But if
And
something
so you
else
wouldn't
was going to happen, I may have done something differently. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So top of the round, right
What
before
range
you.
are we at? Sorry.
So you're 50 feet from the closest orc, which is about 30 feet or so from the closest wall of the temple. And then the temple is about 40 or so feet across, and most of the orcs are inside that. So, yeah, if you want to get to the main body of them, you're probably a couple of rounds away. Before that, though, there is a calling of this calling of alarm happens that alerts everybody around. You see the hooded figure look up, look to the horse, quickly grabs a sack of something that's on the saddlebag of the horse, and just cuts the string holding it on. Both saddlebags on both sides of the horse fall to the ground, and then that was their action. With the movement, they up onto the horse and start to jet this horse away. It is now Heath, your Jaltar's turn. What would you do at this point?
Okay, the guy on the horse, how far was it, sorry?
From you to him would be, let's see, 50, 80, probably 120-ish feet from him at the moment.
Okay, that's a little too far for what I was after. In that case, Jaltar is going to cast on himself freedom of movement.
Oh, nice. So all of this rocky terrain won't get in your way, especially if you're trying to hurl your way over ruins and walls and things. And then you close the distance at all with your movement?
Yes, please. So movement 30 plus 5 from that is 35.
Cool. You get closer to the orcs. You're about 15
actually, no,
feet.
it's just 30. Sorry, it's just 30. That 5 is something else.
Cool.
30.
You get to about 20 feet from the closest orcs, the ones that have just called out an alarm. Is there anything you can do as a bonus or want to do?
I'm quickly looking for that to see if there.
All right. Well, while you think about that, I will consider the Blood Dwellers. The closest orcs all happen to be mooks by the looks of them. You have heard the story of how one of them was changed to others.
Sorry, spiritual. I knew I had a bonus. Spiritual weapon allows me to do a bonus.
Yes. Have you cast spiritual weapon or not? Like already? Because you can't cast two different spells.
Yeah. No, that's fine. My mistake.
So you can cast it on your next turn and then use it as a bonus to attack.
Yep.
The closest orcs will move up to you. You are within 20 feet of them now. They're going to use their aggressive capability. As a bonus action, the Blood Dwellers can move up to their speed towards hostile creatures. So they can move 60 feet on their turn using their movement and bonus. They will do so. A couple of them will move over to you. In fact, let's say 3 of them on you, Yalta. No, I'll say 2 of them on you because you've got they've got great axes. They don't want to get underfoot of each other. And then with 60 feet, they're going to close the distance on everybody else. I'm going to say that 2 of them managed to make it to you, Crow. Let me grab another orc here. Yeah, 2 of them will go to Tobias here. And only one of them manages to make it with all of that movement and from where he was. Only one of them makes it to Peter.
So who's with me? Are we grouped together, everyone except Crow?
That's up to you guys, really. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Who would have chosen to be around?
Because that means that everyone who approaches anyone may have come within 15 feet of me, in which case they all will get hit by my spiritual guardians.
What do you guys think then?
I was definitely at least 20 feet off to the one side.
Yeah.
Yes.
But everyone else is with me?
I closed 30 after casting, not knowing you were going to do the guardian, so I might not be in that.
Yeah, you would be. So Crow and Yalta would not, but I think Peter would be. Peter's wanting to stay as close as he can to other people who can help him.
So everyone who approaches Peter or me, Peter or me, these strings of beautiful, radiant truth and light, of course, with a non-bodied true God who wouldn't, of course, walk around with eyes and arms and legs.
Of course.
react to the evil that comes. Mees, sheerly deigns to come close to me and thuds through them. Wisdom
How
saves
dare they.
13, and anyone who fails gets 3d8 radiant damage.
That
as
is
they realize the truth of their blasphemy, and everyone who succeeds takes half damage.
all right. That is 2 fails for the ones that ran to you, and one success against the one that ran to Peter. So you want to roll that damage for me?
Yes.
And then if they succeed, I will start rolling the attacks on the people. So we'll start with you, Crow. There's 2 attacks on you with great axes.
Before that happens,
Yes.
my polearm master activates.
Ah, of course it does. Yes, for the first one that gets to you.
Yep.
So 13 damage on the ones who saved, who didn't save.
All right, 13. They are considered wounded, but still alive.
Darn it. And then half damage for the one that succeeded.
All right, cool. I'll keep that on mind here.
Alrighty.
Polearm Master attack.
Yep. So that's a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
And I try to decide. Yeah, and I'll trip him up as he comes in.
Oh, nice.
So he takes. Hurting with a +4. So that's a total of 10 points of damage.
10 points. He is
And
wounded,
a
but
dex
not yet.
save.
Dex save.
Strength save.
Oh, either way, it was a 18 plus stuff, so that'll succeed.
Oh, yeah.
So you try hit low with the spear.
Horse spear. Yeah.
You jab him in the thigh, and he kind of turns and cuts across it. Manages to stumble, keep on his feet, and he gets all the way up to you. He's wounded on his input to you, which means that his blood focus is going to come into hand. When the blood dweller has fewer than half his hit points, all their weapon attacks are made with advantage. So with advantage, he strikes you. That is going to be a 9 or a nat 20. So I think I'll take that nat 20, which is going to make this a...
Crit.
Yep, 13 plus another D10.
Crit happens.
Crit happens. Oh, 13 plus another 9. 22 points of damage from this first one. As you strike him across, he feels the blood surging through, and that instant adrenaline kicks into his system. And he strikes down for a whole bunch of damage.
Me.
The second guy that managed to get to you takes an attack. That's going to probably miss, I think. Let me check. That is a 14 to hit. The dice are trying to kill me. No, I'm trying to kill you. There's a 14 to hit.
Don't kill people.
14 misses, right? Grant, 14 AC?
Oh, 14. No. Spang.
Bing! Alright, second one missed you. Then the ones that are wounded but made it to you through your spiritual whatever it's called, guardians, both, because they are both wounded, both have advantage on their attacks.
Not so much wounded as discouraged by the sheer light of truth.
Yeah, as it like pushes its way into their brain and burns them with radiance. And this particular clan of orcs, by the way, their tusks tend to grow more out to the side, and they have like ashen skin and quite charcoaly hair and yellow eyes. Not that you can see much of it behind the smeared blood across their face.
As Labour voters.
So with the first attack, the first guy got a 2 or a 3, so both of those miss. He goes to swing it, and your spiritual thing just like punches him in the face, knocks him right out. The other guy has advantage, gets a 2 or a 15. 15 plus his modifier will hit, and that's going to be just going to be 6 points of slashing damage from his great axe.
Almost completely soaked up by the bonus aid I had before. A mere flesh wound. I just twist out of the way of his blade. Yes.
The one that attacks Peter is also now wounded, and so has advantage. That's going to be a 2.
I made it worse for Peter. Hooray!
Yep. 2 or a what's that? A 16 to hit. Does 16 hit your armor class, Salazar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as he comes in and strikes down at Peter, Salazar, what do you say to get in the way?
I say, not this day, knave. Patang!
Patang! And as Peter's like, cringing, suddenly his sword comes across in front and whack takes the brunt of the smash from the great axe. You will take, Salazar, 10. So that's 13 points of slashing damage to you.
Oof.
Then finally,
fantastic.
the two that got to Yalta, neither of those are wounded, so they're just going to have straight rolls.
No, don't worry, I didn't help them.
The lowest is a 16. Does 16 hit?
16 does not hit.
Oh, so the first one misses, second one hits with a 20-something. That's going to just be, first of that damage was an 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 points of slashing damage to you as he comes in and screaming in. Specks of spit hit you in the face before his axe does. It strikes you, takes you a bunch of your stamina, almost wins you as you bring your shield up to try and to block it. Then it is, that was the Blood Dwellers. It is now Ben's turn. Tobias, what do you do? You have two people right in your face. There's about a 10-foot gap, and then Peter, and then one guy right next to Peter.
Excellent. I'm going to, as a bonus action, cast Divine Favor.
All right.
Which favors me, and then I glow with holy rage that this filthy creature would not only dare approach me, but touch me with his weapon. Doesn't he know the will of God is something that I'm walking perfectly in?
FYI, both Spirit Guardians and Divine Favor are concentration, so if you'll cast this, your Spirit Guardians will disappear.
I don't cast Divine Favor, but I'm still pretentious.
You're still... I cast pretentious. I'm expert at
sound
it.
effect.
Prayer, there's a prayer thing that you can do that gives everyone 1d4 bonus thing.
Bless. Which is
No,
also
bless.
concentration.
Crusader's Mantle, that's it.
Ah, yes.
So can I cast this while
Which
concentrating on the other spell?
Which is also a concentration spell.
So what am I forgetting? Oh, the Crusader's Mantle. Okay,
Crusader's
I
Mantle
just
is-
attack them.
Yeah. the bane of having to pick out enough spells that you can concentrate on the ones that you want.
Look, Tobias
still cast
found
the
it hard
others.
enough to concentrate in mathematics.
Yeah.
Managed to avoid learning almost everything on the curriculum.
You did get hit while you were concentrating on your spell. Can you make concentration checks first, please, from the orc
I
tax?
roll an 11 plus.
Yeah, you're
what?
fine. And then you're fine. And then you got hit twice, I believe.
No,
No, just once. All
only
right.
once.
Then you concentrate on your spell,
Ah.
and then you hit them.
Swing my holy symbol, this thick staff, beautiful crockery, shiny piece of holy symbol at the top of it at the this filthy creature that's in front of me. I bring it down hard on him. Oh yeah, getting a 17.
17 hits.
The symbol smashes as it impacts this filthy beast, and the sharply, beautifully honed blade on the end of this weapon cuts into the creature, causing 9 hit points damage.
Ooh, all right, he goes down as he's just struck you with his great axe and left himself a little bit open. He's gone into a blood rage fury, so he's not really attacking very defensively, and he's left himself wide open for you to just crack this clay symbol right across his face, cutting him and slashing him across the face, and
bits of pottery fly everywhere
as it cuts down through his jaw. It seems to dislocate his jaw, and the tip of the blade cuts right into his jugular, and he just goes down as the blood spurts.
Thus goes it for people who approach me. Into my destiny thou shalt not. And then I use a bonus action as a war priest to attack the other one.
Okay, bonus action War Priest can do 2 attacks.
Swinging down, using the momentum to spin all the way around. So Tobias suddenly looks way less like a fool, and his beautiful cloak, lint-free and shiny as it is, turns out to be not just a pretentious adornment, but it swings up and billows in the wind, twisting with his pirouette on 19 plus
19 hits.
4. So 24, and I bring my +1 beautiful weapon down for 10 hit points damage against the other one.
Yeah, you do this in a very poetic moment, killing them all, both in almost an identical fashion, dislocating a jaw and slitting their jugular as he falls to the ground and on top of his friend.
Excellent. It's actually a fairly terrifying display of strength and power from
Yeah.
someone who didn't really come across like that, frankly, before.
Yeah, but hey, that's the story the dice want to help us tell, is that he comes across as this pretentious guy who can't really do much, but he's got
the dice, it's the bonuses and the training as well, baby.
Of course. All right, that is your turn unless you wish to move.
Yep, that's Yes, so those would I leap to Peter's defense. I'm going to go and stand next to Peter.
Excellent. You stand right next to Peter, and that's the end of your turn. It is now going to be a couple of the guys much closer to the temple. You see some movement, and slightly larger orcs come out. They're adorned in a slightly different fashion. These guys are not topless like most of the mooks seem to be. But these ones have eye patches over. Oh no, they wouldn't have eye patches. Actually, they want to show the fact that they've torn their eye out. They just have hollow. They have hollow sockets that are accentuated with the amount of blood that's over the rest of their face, and left. The only part of their face not left in blood is this eye socket that is removed. Around each of them has one wrist tied to a chain that is tied to around the collar of a much different looking orc than any you've seen before. These ones are. They are meek in their behavior and the way that they're moving, but they are moving like indebted servitudes. They're moving like they are servants but willing servants. Every time that this creature attached to them moves, these creatures are almost one step ahead of them, moving with them and going anywhere that they want. Like they're very, very loyal hounds that have been trained over the years. Their body is exceptionally toned, not muscular. They're not strong or big or built. They're not stocky orcs. They're quite thin and lithe, in fact. But it looks like they are hardy. And as one of these, there's two of them that you can see, by the way, two of these guys with their eyes missing. As the closest one starts to make its way out of the temple, it is going to, let's see, it's going to first look out at the people it can see. Who's going to be closest? Yalta, Salazar, no, Yalta, Crow, and now Tobias, now that he's moved in range, I think. Alright, each of you needs to make a charisma saving throw, please. Yalta, Salazar, and Tobias.
Okay, what is the nature of it? Because half elven means I am got the whole.
Yeah, it is not.
Charm,
it is not a charm. It's not a charm thing.
Okay, just checking.
He calls something. 17. Excellent.
I'm so caught up in my own awesomeness, I don't even shut up.
Jalta, what was yours?
Oh, hang on. I just making sure that I've got nothing on the sheet that would help this.
Salazar, what was yours?
Oh, 18.
I have the old man version of Ben's result, which is basically 17 without the teens.
Okay. Yalta, what was yours, sir? Jalta?
18. Sorry,
18.
17. No, it was 18. Yeah, Salazar was 18.
Salazar does not. So as this guy kind of he pulls his chain and calls something in Orcish, which Salazar you hear as give me your hand. The guy chained to him immediately sticks his hand out. And
it's a proposal. They're about to get married.
And we're already in a temple. Yay!
We've just interrupted an orc wedding. That's all it is.
He
wants
strikes.
Party.
He grabs him by the arm and bites down into it with his tusk that's aiming that direction, dealing 4 points of damage to his willing sacrifice and casting Bane on the three of you. The two that succeeded are unaffected, but Salazar, you feel this curse come across you that makes you a little less likely to succeed in your future endeavours. That is the one that came out there. There is another one that comes out. Another of these Eye of Grumshas come out from the temple. They're a little further away, so they're going to have to use some magic that can... 60 feet, let's see. That would be close enough. Alright, so... the second one comes out and pushes the other guy aside and strides further. Oh, he's got aggressive as well, so he can actually move towards with a bonus. That's what he's going to do. Oh no, because then he can't. Never mind. He's not going to use aggressive, but he is going to use all of his movement to move towards you, Jalta. And as he does so, he calls to his mook and says, Gurskanta Gofakach. And you hear him as saying, point out your finger. And as he points out the finger, the guy grabs it and snaps it backwards.
Oh.
He deals 6 points of damage to his willing sacrifice, who you notice that as these guys have been taking damage, they seem elated at it. It seems like a form of worship to them that they are being put through. They are being chosen to channel Grumsh's divine energy, and they are elated to be one of the chosen. He breaks back his finger and then yanks out his arm, dislocating it, causing 6 points of damage to the sacrifice, who doesn't seem wounded by it. But in the same motion as he pulls it out, it seems like this ghostly apparition appears around his outstretched arm, which turns itself into a long spear. And then this upper body of this Jotva, as they're called, this willing sacrifice, seems to turn into a ghost and move towards you. The Jotva remains there with a dislocated arm and a broken finger, but the entire upper body turns into this spiritual creature that starts moving forwards with a spear outstretched. It traverses the 60 feet to Jalta and makes an attack as a spiritual weapon. That is going to be... Ooh, it was almost a 15, but it ticked over to 5, so that's going to miss with a 9 total. But you're now engaged with, I believe, 2 orcs and a ghostly orc, an upper half of a ghostly orc, like a ghostly genie, that's holding a spiritual spear. That is both of the Eye of Grumsh's done, so that is going to go to Grant. Your turn, Crow.
Okay, so I've got a guy I stabbed and two total in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I shall cast Stabbity.
Stabbity stab!
I stabbed the wounded one.
Stab the wounded one, do it.
19 on the dice.
Hits.
11 points of damage.
Definitely kills. Alright, what does it look like? Where do you stab him?
So I've gone through to the trip, slice through his thigh, which is turned around. I'm just going to hook the spikes behind the back of his head and pull through his neck, severing off what remains of his head.
Severs through the spinal column, through the nerves. You see the instant the spinal column is cut from the limbs going limp, and then the weight of his body, being only supported by your spear through his neck, just tears through the last of the sinew, tearing his head right off of his body.
Yep.
And then
Does
you
a
throw
15
it
hit?
It definitely does.
So as I dispatch that one, flick the blade around to the other one, and just up into him. And I'm going to see if I can make him run. He will now run away from a menacing attack.
Ooh,
with
that's
some
a 4.
saving throw.
Yeah, that's a 4. That's a fail.
All right. So he's now afraid of me. So he takes... it's +4. So that's 13 points of damage.
13. All right, he is now wounded, but still alive, but terrified. Rightfully so. You've just seen your friend go from perfectly healthy battle master to decapitated in an instant. So that would scare even the hardest of orcs.
That was graphic.
Does he flee immediately?
It is not his turn, but it looks like on his turn he will be.
Right. Yep. Cool.
All right. Are you moving anywhere or?
No, I've got this guy in front of me. So
cool. You can move. He will, even if he takes a disadvantage, an attack of opportunity, it'll be at disadvantage because he's frightened.
No.
No.
I have a plan.
Cool. End of your turn then.
Yep.
All you can do bonus now. All right. Then it is the shaman, the main guy. You've seen his shoulder talking to this hooded individual that got on the horse and is still in the midst of galloping away. He comes out of the temple. He must be cresting 7 feet at least. He is an enormous bloody individual. He has both of his eyes, but he has almost like what are they called? Bandoliers down both sides, not filled with anything, just leather, just adornments. He also has a necklace of tusks that have been kept from previous ancestors, perhaps. And once more, he's adorned with blood magic. His is more symmetrical and more cautiously adorned to his face, and around both of his wrists is chained to one of these Jotva willing sacrifices.
I recognize that.
Yeah, I recognize this music.
Nice.
He is going to let's see. He hasn't seen what the issue is, but he is going to upcast. Oh, he's only got one of them though. Yeah, he's going to upcast this. Who does he see on the battlefield? Jaltar's closest. Crow seems to be the biggest threat.
Biggest threat.
Tobias is also the shiniest.
Shiniest.
All right, yeah. He's going to try and split you up because the closest can get even closer and he won't have the backup if he stops the people at the back. So he looks out across the two of you and says, Kuraskuntavka, which Salazar you hear to be, show me your neck. And both of his Jatva quickly come forward as if pick me. And he looks down.
Notice me, Senpai.
And he grabs one of them by the throat. And then he looks out across to Tobias and Crow, and he's going to upcast hold person. I need both of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Come on, baby. Oh yes. Oh my gosh, I hope 14 is good enough.
We'll find out in a second. Crow, what was yours? Crow?
Oh, my apologies. What was that? Sorry.
A wisdom save, please.
Oh, wisdom save. No. That will be 4.
A 4, and you're not a level of fighter that you have resolve yet, do you?
No.
Or whatever it's called. Okay. So both of you feel as he reaches out. Actually, I'm going to see how much damage does he do to the guy. Ooh, that's good for him. Hey, 2 1s and a 2. He does very minimal damage to say that he's casting a 3rd level spell. You hear something crack even from this distance. The guy doesn't go entirely limp, but he has done a decent amount of damage to his Jotva. And then in a fashion, you feel like something twinges in your neck and makes your hands go limp and tingle as if your nerves have been damaged. Tobias, you managed to push through it and shake it off just. It was right in the cusp, literally a 14 that you needed. Crow, however, your body, as you're preparing to do whatever it is that you're preparing to do to this frightened orc that's about to flee, you feel like you've just lost entirely control of your muscles. Your nerves go against you.
Okay.
I'm held person or something?
Yes, it's your hold person, so you are considered paralyzed.
Cool.
I see you.
That is his turn. He's going to use his movement. He moves along with his Jotva, who seem to have readied their actions for whenever he moves, they move with him. They move 30 feet towards you, so they are now closing in on Jaltar, probably about 10, 20 feet from you. That is the shaman. It is now finally Salazar's turn. Or Peter's turn, I should say.
Peter, listen, I know that you're afraid, but do not worry. I shall protect you.
Okay, I hope so.
That or goddamn Tobias. Did you see that? He killed 2 bloody orcs. It was huge.
Can we do something?
Yes. Point me in that direction.
Yeah.
As he does so, I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on Crow.
Nice
work.
And remove his paralysis.
I had a lesser restoration, but I had to close the distance. Well done.
This wave of energy comes off of you. It's like a heat wave. For anyone watching, it kind of looks like the heat waves that you can see on a really hot day, and the pavement seems to shimmer the air. This air shimmer seems to move all the way over Crow, which instantly you get a little bit of tingling pins and needles as your nerves suddenly come back to your brain. But your brain and rest of your nervous system are now reconnected.
Yeah, that little orc in front of me hears.
Then with my bonus action, I want to point in the direction of the big, blood-faced shaman, and I say, "You there! Listen, I have a really good insult for orcs. The problem is it's written on my blade, so you probably won't understand."
Any word?
I presume that's a vicious mockery, is it?
No. As a bonus action, I can use unsettling words, and this lovely gentleman will take the reverse of one of my bardic inspirations.
Oh,
a
nice.
negative D8 to their saving throw.
Nice.
Negative D8 to the save. All right, the next save they make, right? So remind me.
Yeah.
Keep a track of that. Remind me.
Shall
Is there anything you want to do, or do you move, Peter, your movement in any particular direction?
Yes. I will move. I will move forward towards Jaltar.
All right. You. I believe you were. Peter was engaged with a dude who was wounded.
Didn't they die?
No, not in
Running away? Was he afraid or something? Or?
No, that was the one with Crow. We'll say he is not there anymore. There you go.
Because I thought one ran for me, one ran for Tobias, and I thought they both got killed when Tobias.
No, two
on me.
Two on everyone.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so there is still one on Peter. You can take the attack opportunity if you wish, but obviously
no. I'll stand guard and I'll just keep protecting Peter. I'll sort of move his arm just to kind of be like in a more...
The whole time he's like, ugh! And he's just like perfectly parrying all of these attacks that are coming in from this great, who's like raging with the blood.
Thrust!
And then
Peter, posture!
In the midst of all of this, he's going, and then you're like, point me at Crow, and then, and it opens up just as this axe comes swinging past Peter's head, and then you dispel it just in time for him to come back around and parry the return swing.
Yes. Come now, Peter. It's your dominant arm, not a wet noodle.
All right, that is all you can do, I believe. So back to the top of the round with the dude on the horse. He is going to gallop away even faster. He now uses the horse's movement speed. One and here, they're the same. And as his action, he turns around and sort of sprays something across the ground. It doesn't look like he's reached into a bag or anything. He doesn't have anything in his hand, but he does like a sewing motion across the ground. And everywhere that he does, there is all of the rocks seem to get a lot sharper and a lot more. The rocks behind him are significantly more pointy. Then it is the Yaltar's turn. Yaltar, you're up.
Righty. So, Crow, you've closed the gap to me?
No.
No? Okay. Yaltar is not wanting to really...
Sorry,
Hit the shaman.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Kill the shaman.
What have I got that'll reach the distance then?
He came up to you. I think he's within 20 feet of you.
Yeah, there's the shaman.
Oh, right.
The shaman is within 20 feet of you.
Ah, sorry, my mistake. I thought the shaman was on the horse making the getaway. Okay,
No,
the shaman.
no, that is a guy who doesn't look like he's orcish.
Right.
And he has the sword.
In that case...
Salazar, you can see the guy getting away now. All of you can now see him now that he's galloping. And Salazar, the sword registers as the exact distance to your brother.
Right, so Jaltar makes a fist with his hand, opens it to the sky, and calls forth sacred flame down onto the shaman.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Dexterity saving throw. That is a 17 plus stuff. That's going to succeed, I'm afraid.
Dang it, yeah, no, he saves.
He sort of jumps backwards and... in fact, he just barely steps backwards. He looks at you, sees the clerical nature of your abilities and how they're similar to his, and he steps back just in time for the radiant light to slam down in front of him.
Is that the same shaman that I just... think it was a different
yes. It is the same shaman. So he gets
a negative D8.
So just to clarify for the theatre of mind of everyone, there is one shaman and two Eye of Grumshes. The shaman is the one in charge, it seems. The Eye of Grumshes are the next level down, and then the mooks. So D8 from that makes it a...
8.
What's your DC?
14.
Hey, you got a 15, I'm afraid, even with the subtraction of the D8.
So close!
But because I've got the my
Unfailing
ability,
Inspiration.
because he failed it, he keeps it.
Is that for him as well? Awesome. That's a good ability.
I think so. Actually, you know what?
We'll say it is because that sounds cool.
Sounds cool.
All right, great, sweet. Yeah.
So you sacred flame, and then you've got your bonus action and movement if you wish to take it.
Okay.
I think there is still an orc in melee of you.
Can you cast a divine buff for bonus damage or anything? As a bonus action?
No.
No, I don't think. Not as a bonus action.
Healing.
Not I got a healing, but not a buff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Drop a heal. Drop a heal. Drop a heal.
Yes.
Drop a heal.
Yes. Just trying to pick the one that I'm using.
Heal one of the Jotva.
Okay.
Healing word.
Heal one of the Jotva. Yeah. No,
Yeah, the Jotva have been taking a lot of damage. There's one guy with a dislocated arm. You could heal him.
Great. No, I think he's on his own.
Another guy's got a severed head. You could try it on that.
Who of my party are within 60 feet? The only bonus I have is mass healing word. I'm going to just reach out to anyone who needs it.
They're all within 60 feet.
Sweet. Alrighty.
I've only lost 1 hit point, I'm afraid. Oh no, my max hit points is up by 5, isn't it?
No, I do need a bit of healing. I should have gone with my original plan of disengaging and getting back behind the big hitters. Okay. That is a 4 plus my spellcasting mod, which is... hang on. Oh, 8. So a d4 plus 8. So that is 12. Everyone gets 12, which is very good.
Awesome.
That is very good.
Yes.
So yeah, I can get my that's
So any of the party, including Peter and Salazar, within 60 of me get 12 back.
awesome.
Now
That is well appreciated.
I can't move without provoking, correct?
Yes. The one that attacking you is not wounded, I don't think. So it would have a regular attack, not an advantage attack.
Okay, but I've got 2 near me and the spiritual weapon, yeah. So.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
Spiritual
probably not.
Doesn't provoke.
No, spiritual
doesn't
can't get
provoke.
it. Spiritual
So
can't take reactions.
I've
But
theoretically only got one that'll provoke then.
there are 2 orcs and the spiritual weapon next to you. So if you moved away, you'd have 2.
Oh,
attacks
sorry, I
opportunity.
thought you said one of them couldn't. Okay. No, that's right.
This is why I like to do things with maps,
Yeah, totally.
especially with big
right.
orc fights. But hey, I didn't have the time.
So you're doing well.
Alright.
It's good. I think I know what's happening.
Yeah,
All right.
keep a
Well,
track of who's in your immediate vicinity, and I'll
That's
keep
right.
track of like the general thing, and between us, we'll tell the story.
well,
That's the thing, guys. If you're getting in the comments being like, "Oh, he died because it's just a story," we're telling a story as long as we get the gist of the scene across. It's fine. So that's you done then, Yalta. All right. It is now the Blood Dweller mooks. So there are a couple on you, Jalta. We said So I'm going to make attacks with them. That is first a 15 or a 2. So the first one will hit. Second one will not. And that will be a.
I've got armor class 17. So.
15 on the dice.
Oh right.
I tend to brief things up by going like, oh, that's enough. Plus modifier will be plenty.
Cool. No worries.
Then I don't have to do all unnecessary maths. That is going to be a total of 4 points because it was the minimum he could have rolled.
Excellent.
That's
I
the
like
2
to
that
do
are on
those
you. Who's got one on them? Peter's still got one on him, right?
Yep.
So
I've
he
got one, I
makes.
think.
Ooh, yes, that's going to hurt. So Peter takes. Oh, and from minimum to maximum. So Peter is going to take 13 points of damage, but at the last second.
Shocking!
You get smacked, but unfortunately you didn't manage to turn Peter's hand in a way that like parries it properly, but it actually smacks against the sword, causing you 13 points of damage.
Ow.
Oh, and he had advantage just in case it was a crit. It was not. That one's wounded. Sorry,
You hit like an elven maiden.
The frightened one on you, Crow, is going to... Is he smart enough to disengage? How frightened is he? You've just decapitated his friend. He's going to just run. So he just runs. So you can take an attack of opportunity if you wish.
I got Sentinel anyway.
Sorry?
I've got Sentinel.
Oh, you do?
Anyway.
Yes, you do.
That's a 21 to hit.
So for the extra fun of it, let's say he does disengage, and then he backs away like slowly. He's like, I can do this. What?
Ready
No!
for that?
Yeah.
And he takes 11 points of damage in the process as I basically just stick the blade beneath his chin and up through his face.
He goes out, and for a moment he's got 3 tusks. And then he goes down.
Wow.
Awesome. Who else has got them on you? Tobias, have you got any on you? You killed them both, didn't you?
I killed everybody near me.
So let's see, how many have I got left? That's this one gone. Let's so these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You just sit down and get a tan, like just. Come on, guys, pick up the pace.
There are 6 left of them. 6 left of the mooks. So let's see. These one would be closest to Yalta, but you're kind of surrounded already. They're gonna just use their aggressive to get closest to this. They're within range of. Let's see. Tobias, you're back with Peter, aren't you?
Yeah. Like, how far back am I? Like 15 feet or something, or?
Yeah, I'll say because I think Yalta went 30 feet forward from you, so you're 30 feet behind Yalta.
Okay, cool.
So they're going to have to with their bonus and action to dash, with their aggressive and their action to dash, they'll manage to surround you and Peter. So now Peter has 3 behind. Peter and Tobias between you have 3 behind you, and 1 in front. And then another 1, so 5 around the 2 of you. There we go. We've got 5
Guardians, baby.
Yeah.
Wisdom save DC 13.
All right. So the 3 that came behind got an 18, a 19, and a 1.
8. And 5.
So 2
21
succeed,
hit
1
points
not,
damage.
and
If they
17.
fail.
So we got a 17, 18, 19, and nat 1. So one of them failed. The other 3 did not.
So
How many damage?
The full damage.
20.
21.
21. Oof. Oh,
8, 8, and a 5.
Nice work. And half of that will bloody the other 3.
Oh, damn it.
So as the first guy runs in with his aggressive maneuvering, he's bringing his great axe up. He's running and charging and leaping over rocks and parts of ruins.
You know, Indiana Jones, when they open the Ark of the Covenant, he just melts with the
Yeah.
whole tower.
Yeah. As he hits your wall of radiance, he just turns into goo, which falls down, and by the time he hits the ground, it's just a skeleton that's left, and it clatters his battle axe. Ting, 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 ting.
So,
But
so
the
I think
other-
that's another sound effect we need for Sirenscape. It's called
Absolutely.
Oozify.
Absolutely.
Oozify.
The other 3 behind him kind of like slow up a little bit, which helps them get their battle axe up in front of their face, which blocks a lot of it. Some of their body gets a hell of a lot of radiant burns to them, but they push through it. It fuels them with the adrenaline. They start to bleed from the mouth from the internal radiant damage done to them, and they're now surrounding you. You've got 4 of the orcs surrounding you.
Awesome. That's right. We'll
and
take care of that in a moment.
We've got one. We've got the 2 on the last one. Then is going to run over to Crow with all of its actions to get to you. It's going to get all the way up to you. It's feeling rather emboldened, even though you just dispatched of a couple of its friends without even breaking a sweat.
Unfortunately, I cannot bonus it again.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've used your reaction. That is all of the Blood Dwellers. It is now Tobias.
Yes. Rinse and repeat. Since I have to concentrate on this spell, because it does seem to be quite useful, I'm going to swing my holy weapon now, unsheathed. God's rage is visible in its full shininess. And
Swing.
yeah, I
No, wrong
attack.
one.
11 plus 8 is 19.
Hits.
The first one. Excellent. Swinging. Oh, only 8 hit points damage.
8 hit points. Yep, one of them will go down for that.
Excellent. So yeah. So okay, let's say. So he's sort of slowed down, brought his battle axe in. I actually thrust my spear essentially forward, knock the battle axe to the side, and then back straight across his face. Yeah, excellent.
Cuts right up through here, and cuts through the eye socket, and one of them. And then he goes down.
Woo! I'm gonna use my other bonus attack for the day as a cleric of war.
Nice.
To then
There are now 3 around you.
yeah, okay, I'll attack another one who's
Yeah,
there.
they're all wounded.
Imagination. Oh, only 5 plus 8, which is 13.
13 is not quite enough. So
Yeah,
these guys, although they are topless, they seem to have natural armor just from their endurance that they like to. You can see now that they're up close as well. Despite even before your additional damage done to them with your radiant whatsits, they seem to have a lot of healed wounds. They just have cuts and scars all over their body. It seems like cutting each other and worshipping blood in that way and pain.
But say, like, they're coming at me, right? And I've cut that guy, and I swing back to do the same to the one, but he's come too far forward, and the wood of the staff just bashes up against him, kind of thing. Yeah,
it hits him. It seems like these guys are pretty hardy folk, and their natural skin has been toughened over the years of worship to pain and endurance.
Don't get near the cloak, boy.
He's gonna get his blood all over that pretty cloak. Then it is the Eye of Grumshes. The 2 of them are, one of them is focused on his spiritual weapon on Jalta, so we'll do that before I forget. So his bonus action to attack Jalta, that's a terrible hit. That's going to be, that's only a 12 to hit, we'll miss. Then his action, what's he going to do? Spiritual weapon is concentration, isn't it? Oh, thankfully he doesn't have to. Oh no, it's not concentration. No, it's not concentration. And
it's not concentration.
It is
I've
not.
definitely cast my spells in the wrong order.
Spiritual weapon is not a concentration spell. I realise. What is he going to do? He's going to do. Is he going to
Tobias would have known.
Let's say. Oh, he sees. Right. This is going to help. How does it manifest? He shouts to. Yeah, he shouts at Jalta. No. He's gonna cast it through his man. Let's see. Sorry, end of a very long week. I'm getting my head's a bit fuzzy. He goes, he says, Druskunk! And Salazar again hears this as, your ankle! And the guy next to him with a broken, I think this is the one with a broken arm and things, he lifts up his leg willingly. The guy grabs his clawed fingers behind the leg and he cuts the Achilles tendon of this guy.
Oh.
Dealing 6, maxed it out, so that guy is now looking wounded.
Now he's looking wounded?
Oh yeah, the Jutva
broken arm, ripped out into a black eye.
It's
now he's starting to look out.
Yeah, now he's starting to look at.
it's all the fashion these days.
The Jutva are bred to be strong and hardy with a lot of hit points, so that they can do this sort of thing. He cuts his Achilles tendon and at the same time shouts in broken common, "Grovel!" towards Yalta. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw against command.
Oh, I think I get wisdom saves.
Yes, but also is that a charm effect?
Let me check. Let me check the wording of command. It's an enchantment spell, unless it says the word charm in it, though. It does not say the word charm that I'm seeing. I don't think it is. No. So you wisdom save, please.
Can chat hear Sirenscape and the music and everything, or is it just only bleeding through a tiny bit?
Coming through a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can boost it up. Yeah.
Yeah, boost the volume. Boost it.
16.
16. You succeed. You feel the urge.
Rock music.
You feel all of a sudden. You feel all of a sudden like your legs are about to give way, like your Achilles tendons have just snapped, and you're about to land on all fours on the ground. But at the moment, you manage to overcome your temporary vertigo and keep yourself standing, which you're grateful for, because otherwise all of them around you would have had advantage to pommel you on the ground. The Jutva's like, well, I'm glad I gave my Achilles tendon for that. That is that guy. The other one is going to cast... Who's he got? Oh, he is going to look across to... He's also going to look at Yalta, who tried to cast Spiritual Weapon before. Tried to cast the Sacred Flame before. And he's going to do a similar thing. It is a cantrip, so he does not need to require blood sacrifice from a Jutva. Instead, he just drags his claws across himself, just cutting the light sort of upper layers of the skin. Not enough to cause himself damage, but enough to draw blood. And then doing so in a similar motion, he's bringing his hand down from the sky in the same way that you did. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw against his Sacred Flame.
Oh, nat 20.
Man, you're nailing all of these dodges and strikes and things. You dodge backwards, which leaves the melee range, and he's about to take a strike, but then he sees this spiritual weapon, this spiritual flame coming down from above. He dodges back, and then you end up striking back away from the spiritual weapon behind you and back into the position you were in before. But you've avoided all of the damage. That is all the Blood Dwellers the Eye of Grumshers can do. So they're going to stay where they are, and it is back to Grant. Crow, you're up.
Okay, so a guy ran up to me and had a swing.
Yes.
Yes, there's one guy in front of me.
Yep.
Oops.
Split the difference, Michael. Michael, split the difference. It's a little loud now.
Yeah. Yep. Just working on that.
Cool. Okay, hit. 4. Let's re-roll that. 3. 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. All right. He is wounded, but not dead.
Okay, I do it again. 19
Seems
on
to
the dice.
you see the craze in his eye.
Yeah. Keep rolling ones. There we go. Oh, better 8. So that's 12 points of damage.
All right, that's enough to finish him.
Okay. I will then take my move. And can I reach the shaman?
From where you are, I'd say that you could reach level with Jalta, but you'd be about 10 feet short of the shaman.
10 feet?
10 feet short of the... Yeah. Actually, let's say 5 feet. You'd be 5 feet short.
Excellent. So I can run up to him and I shall extend my reach and cast Stabity.
Oh, wow! You have a lunging ability.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know. All right, so you use your lunging
Natural
lunging
20!
Hey, nice. All right. So here's how I do 20s. You max out everything that you could have possibly rolled, and then you roll it all again one more time.
Oh no!
Nice.
I like that.
Okay, so that's 12, 16. That's only D4. I'm technically only using the blunt end of my thing as a bonus action. And another 8, so 24 points of damage.
24, nice. All right. He takes it. He takes 24 points of damage. And as you pull back, it seems like he is ready for more. Yeah, he's not got the wounded condition yet. All right. That's everything you can do.
The bonus move, double action. Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Then it is the shaman's turn. He is going to retaliate.
Can I take a short rest between now and then?
You can take a very, very short rest.
Cool.
Let's see. He is going to. Here's what he's going to do. He reaches down to his belt and pulls out a very shiny-looking ritualistic dagger with a very curved kind of blade to it and a gem-encrusted handle. And he says, which in Orcish means eyes. And there's a little more hesitation here than you saw in them before. But he grabs the other, without looking, he grabs the Zhutva next to him, the one that same one he grabbed it for the neck. And they turn their head towards and open their eyes wide, and staring at you in the eye the whole time, just cuts it right across the eye and into the bridge of the nose, not like sideways, not enough to into the brain, but right into the eye.
That's
Go and get brain damage.
That's gonna leave a mark in the morning.
Is it super inappropriate if all I want to do is get this guy like really frustrated, so he turns around and says bollocks?
Me! Where are my Zhutva gone? How did they break loose? This is. They must have had crazy strength to get. So he's casting blindness on you. Can you make a? I think it's Constitution save. Make some sort of a save.
That's 1.
And that one. All right. Yes, you definitely fail that as you feel all of a sudden like your eye has been pierced by a blade. And then it pierces through both eyes and suddenly, boom, completely blind. He did deal 7 points of damage to his Zhutva, though, who is looking heavily wounded now.
I will yell, "Ow! Help me!" Oh, nah.
And then he steps forward. You hear his foot step onto the stone beside you, and feel his presence next to you, making sure he's engaging you in melee. Then that is.
But I'd like to use my reaction to stab him.
Sure can. You have disadvantage on the attack.
No worries. Okay. So that's nat 20 and an 8. But
Don't you hate it?
That's still armor class. And I'm going to spend my bardic inspiration.
Oh yes.
8. So that's 16 on the dice with a plus 7, 23.
23 will miss. No, of course it hits. It hits. Roll damage.
4 and 4 is 8.
8 points. Nice. He takes it. He is now looking wounded. Not that you can see that.
but he's there.
Where does it hit him? Do you reckon? As you feel him stepping towards you?
I'd be going for center mass. So
Yeah,
I've
you're just
put him
feeling
through a
this mass,
kidney.
and you're like, oh god, I can't see. He's gonna kill me. Boom! You just lunge yourself backwards with lunging this thing forwards, and you feel it break a rib as it hits in the chest, and you feel like you know where you've hit him.
Oh no!
He seems to have been put into his blood rage. That
He had
is.
advantage against me anyway.
That is its turn. It is now Michael Salazar's turn. How are you going?
All right. So there's still the. Is that Orcs that's still next to Peter still? Just
There are 3 orcs around Peter and Tobias.
okay. And
all
the...
wounded.
Okay. I say stand strong, Peter.
Well, I'm trying.
How is Tobias for like hit points at the moment?
Perfect.
Like,
Unscathed.
yeah, fair enough.
He's
All right, I'm gonna try something. I'm not expecting it to work, but let's give this a crack, shall we? Salazar is going to use. He's going to turn towards the shaman, and basically say, "Quick, what's quick? Quick, what?
What?
And I'm gonna cast confusion on the orc. On the orc.
Love it. Wisdom save?
Yes, please. And I'm gonna give him a negative to with the whole D8 from
All
my
right.
inspiration thing.
All right. Does a -3 pass?
No.
I've played this a long time. This game. I've never seen a -3 on a save before.
All right. Cool. So anytime he tries to take an action, I roll a d10, and that'll determine what happens with that.
Awesome. As he gets stabbed through the ribs, you feel and hear his and smell his hot breath on your face, Crow, and then you also hear him go, what? And he's completely unabashed. Not unabashed. That's the wrong word. Completely dumbfounded as to what the hell's going on around him. Discombobulated. That's right. Is Peter moving anywhere?
Peter is not going to move anywhere. You know what? Peter will actually move if he can to reposition and try to flank with Tobias.
All right. Yeah, you can. I'll say that you can flank across. One of them will get an attack of opportunity. That will miss though. Just. Wait. What's your armor class again? Tell me your armor class again.
10.
Is it 10? That's not right.
A sword.
Is it a 10?
Yeah, my hit points are huge, but yeah, I'm a sword, dude.
Then it won't miss. All right. Lordy.
People laugh from the dungeon master is very funny.
That's 6 points of damage as Peter repositions against his better judgment, and as he leaves, he feels like, oh god, here's the life flashing before my eyes. This I can feel this guy swiping at me from behind, and then the sword comes up and over the top, and clang, gets in the way of Peter right before he takes the damage. You take it, 6 points damage, and then you are now on the other side of one of these orcs from Tobias. That's the end of your turn, is it, Michael?
Yes, indeed it is.
All right. The hooded figure is going to use its action to dash the horse along, and now it is getting out of here. It's getting further and further afield. It is now Heath Yaltar.
Yes.
Then my turn, is that right?
We just got raided by Matty Morgs as well. So
Hey,
welcome,
thank you very much for the raid. You're joining in the middle of an
Matty!
orc battle, or rather towards the end of an orc battle. It is Heath, and then it is the Blood Dwellers, and then it is Tobias. Yes.
All right. So I now have Crow alongside me, so I know that I can sort of do a little bit more. I'm going to try Sacred Flame again against the Shaman.
I'm going for the Shaman.
Blind.
Does Confusion affect his dexterity at all?
No.
No. That is still a fail either way. That is going to be a 9 total.
Yes. Rolling.
Keep rolling.
Leave some bits for me.
Ooh, that is a 12.
12 total. All right. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Is that everything you can do, Yelta? You gonna move anyway? Bonus?
If Crow's alongside me, that's where I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, you're good where you are. All right. Then it is the Blood Dweller's turn. Who's still got Blood Dwellers on them? 3 on Tobias and Peter, right?
Yes.
All right. So they're gonna go all 3. No, one on Peter, 2 on Tobias. The one on Peter is advantage because of blood raging. That is a 19 plus stuff. That'll hit. And then the next one is a 4 or a 2. I don't think that's going to hit. And then Tobias, the last one on you is an 18 or a nat 20.
Yes, that'll work.
So one attack on both of you. Tobias, or rather Salazar, takes 9 points of damage as one of them strikes through, and Peter manages to get the sword in the way of it. Shackling. And then 16 points of damage to Tobias with the crit.
Ow.
That is the Blood Dwellers there. I don't believe there are any more alive. No, that's all of them. They're just three mooks that are left alive. So now it's Tobias's turn to retaliate.
Yes. I want to bring...
They've muddied your armor. They hit you with an axe, and it's cut some of that. You can see there's frayed edges now.
It's disgusting. The shaman is engaged with
with Crow. Yeah.
Can I get the shaman within 15 feet? Of course I can. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm going to run forward. Can I actually stab the shaman or not?
With 30 feet, let's make an athletics check. See if you can push yourself a little further than you should.
Something
normally.
I am. +4. I roll a 5 and get a 9. So no.
Unfortunately, with your 30 feet, you're a little. You have to take a pause halfway to take a breather. So you can get to. You can get to behind Crow, but the shaman's on the other side of Crow. So unless you have like a reach weapon,
is within range of my divining whatever.
Oh yeah.
If he gets a turn, he's going to suffer from my holiness.
At the start of his turn, is it? Sweet.
So is there anyone else I can stab sort of along the way?
I'll say one of the Eye of Grumshers is next to you or nearby.
Yeah. I'm going to
on the way. You can.
An Eye of Grunch and an Eye of 20.
Hey, there you go. Max out what you could have possibly rolled, and then roll one more time.
So I'm very frustrated that I didn't participate in PE enough during my school time. I concentrated on religion, mainly religion. I know all about all the gods that aren't true and mine what that is. And PE and mathematics and English and science.
Not important. Not important, because if you're devoted enough to the one true God.
Absolutely, the one true God will take care of me, as has been demonstrated.
Exactly.
Have faith and awesome power will be delivered to you. So I get 1d10 already. Plus another 9. So I only get the bonus once, do I?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so 24 hit points damage.
All right.
So I'm just... I may be out of breath, but I'm not out of righteous anger.
All right, and you almost like he's on like a couple of hit points damage. So like... I'll say for the brevity, because we're already 3 minutes over and we want to finish this. You rolled a slight little bit better on one of those dice, and you took him out into a single shot from being completely fine to not at all. How does it look as you finish off this Eye of Grumsh?
Yeah, so I'm mainly just running straight at the shaman, and all these strings of holy light all actually are curling back and rotating to then basically plunge into his heart, into his dark, unbelieving heart, and show him the truth as the light fades from his eyes.
True God.
Yeah, I totally believe.
And the Orc Eye of Grumsh gets a spear through the face as you run past, and he falls down.
Doesn't even know. It's just
as he falls, the chain drags his Zhurtva over the top of him, who's a little bit startled.
Nice.
All right, that is all of your turn, I believe, Tobias. Is there anything else?
I also rock out a little bit to the rock music, just because he likes that.
It is now the Eye of Grumsh's turn. There is only one more that there can be. He would have been the one with spiritual weapons. So as you run in and cut in right next to him, you appear next to this ghostly apparition of the top half of an orc holding a spear, which dissipates.
Nothing stands in the path of my completion of my destiny.
All right, let's cast something. Let's go big. We've already used Bane. We've used Command. I think we're going to use... Let's see. We'll go Command again. The one that remains is going to turn to his Zhurtva And what's he going to command you to do? Who's he going to go for? He's going to go for... Ooh, this is interesting. He looks across to Peter.
Ooh.
And he turns to his Zhurtva and says, "Ugh," which means hand. And he puts his hand out, and then he gets a blade out and just cuts the hand right off.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
And then he is getting Peter to drop the weapon.
Is this the shaman who's confused?
No, this is the Eye of Grumsh.
The Eye of Grumsh.
The remaining Eye of Grumsh. That we are now down to 1 wounded shaman and 1 Eye of Grumsh and 3 wounded mooks.
Oh, that's a bad way of give me 5.
The Eye of Grumsh has cast command on Peter. So Salazar, you need to make a Wisdom saving throw against dropping the blade.
How dare he?
I know.
Oh, is that? Roll dice.
That's a 3.
A 3. All right. So Peter, or rather you, fail the save against it, and then it is now your turn. So on your turn, Peter Peter, against his own better judgment, drops the sword, which clatters to the ground next to him.
I don't know. I feel like in part Peter's regained some of his free will. He's just like, yeet!
He's like, yes! Why didn't I try this sooner? Command! If only I'd known it had been that simple.
All right.
It's now your turn, and you're on the ground by Peter's feet.
All right. Hold on. Give me a second. That's changed like everything I was going to do. All right. No. I've got it.
Oh wait. Sorry. It's not your turn. It was the Eye of Grumsh. I skipped over Crow.
No.
Sorry.
All right, it's fine.
You will be on the ground, but Crow, it's your turn first. And you're
Okay.
blind.
Down here.
I'm blind. That's okay. I will drop. I know that Yelnar's right beside me.
Yes.
I will drop in underneath this guy's armpit, around under the chain, and flank. So that I am flanking with Yelnar.
Nice.
And take my attacks as a straight attack because disadvantage.
Yep, I will allow that.
And that's a 22 and a 24.
Nice. Can you first actually make an acrobatics check, please? Because he does have Zhurtva attached to him. So as you're trying to duck under his arm, you might actually hit one of them.
That's a 10 on the dice.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. It was a DC 10.
Okay.
So
12.
You do like shoulder barge into one of the Zhurtva, and that kind of helps you get your bearings as to whereabouts you were. You kind of a little like 6 inches off to the left than where you thought you were in your mind, but it corrects your course. You managed to get through to the other side and hit. How much was the attack? It was 20 something, right?
One was 17, and one was like 22 or something.
Yeah, both hit.
For double 7s on the dice, so that's 2 lots of 11, 22.
Ooh, nice. All right. This guy's definitely looking wounded. Not that you can see it.
I'm going to take another crack at him. That's a 14, so 21.
21 hits.
For 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. All right.
He's
still standing, but for those who can see, he looks like he's having a harder time keeping himself up. He's taking a pummeling from behind, and he's bleeding quite a lot of blood out of his kidneys and things.
Alna, help me!
Was that all of your turn, Crow?
Yeah, that's move. Bonus. Yep.
All right, it is now the shaman's turn. How confused is he, Michael?
Radiant damage first.
Oh, first radiant damage.
13 wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Can any of you other DMs explain to me why it's a wisdom? I don't understand why it's a wisdom save.
It's an attack of faith. It's attack on on their willpower.
So it's like, is it sort of illusionary thing, and it's attacking their mind? Right. Okay. That was a nat
resolve.
That was a nat 20.
Not an illusion.
It was a nat 20 on his save against your spiritual weapon, so he only takes half. Spiritual, whatever you call it.
8, 3, and 7. 18 hit points damage. Half of that's 9.
Oof,
Does he
all
die?
right.
Does he die?
He does not. He does not. He's damn close though. Michael, what does he do with his confusion?
All right. Rolling a d10. Let's see. Up.
If it's the one that says he moves in a random direction, and then you guys both get attacks of opportunity on him.
It is a 6. Creature doesn't move or take any actions this turn.
Damn it! All right, he's going down then. He was going to use his life transference on his Jetfa to get a whole bunch of hit points back, but I guess he's not going to. All right, so he stands there. Good. And the ones who can see his Jetfa look terrified. They're like, oh no, we've never seen him like this before. What are we going to do? How is he? And they know better than to like speak out of place towards him though. So they just stand there waiting for his actions. Much to their demise. It is now Michael's turn. Salazar, what are you doing from the ground?
All right. Salazar's on the ground. He looks at Peter and says, Peter, I know you're going to run. Don't. Stay and fight. Listen to me. There is a time in every person's life when they're given a choice, a destiny that will guide their hand to either a glorious future or a miserable time being told off by your wife. Whatever the case is, take heed, take up arms, raise me one more time, and I promise you, you shall not regret it. And I'm going to cast Motivational Speech, finally.
Finally, he lets you finish.
All allies within 60 foot gain 5 temporary hit points.
Ooh, nice.
In addition, they have advantage on wisdom saving throws.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't you cast that before? Michael, you should have cast that at the start of the thing when there was danger.
I know.
Why didn't you do that?
And it lasts an hour. And if the affected if anyone affected by this is hit while they still have temporary hit points, they then get advantage on their next attack roll.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Wow.
So as you say this, Peter looks down at the sword and realizing that his character arc demands he pick up this sword, he says, "Oh no, thank you. I'm enjoying my life. I enjoy my life very much. I'm gonna."
He turns around and he goes, Peter!
I enjoy my life very much. Thank you very much. And
Very
I'm
well.
gonna find a place where I can hide. And he runs like towards the battle, but like towards the ruins as well, so that he can get a place to hide. He only makes it like 40 feet from you before you burn up into flame and appear in his hand. And he goes, "Oh, that's right." But now he is next. Now, as he's been running that way, and you've appeared in his hand, he is now next to the shaman, and he looks, and for the first time in his life, he feels like being a hero, and he takes a strike at the shaman.
Yes.
Go on, Peter.
Do it, Peter. Oh, that's got to be a 20.
What?
No. Oh, no. Oh.
It was such a perfect ending to it. It was like, yeah, he's going to be a hero. No, he's a farmer. You can't just change his character in a moment just because it's epic.
I'm just kind of imagining he swung Salazar down. There's like this holy glorious moment, and then Salazar hits a rock, right? And then is like stuck in the rock now, like he's wedged in, like he's just.
He goes running away. You appear in his hand. He goes, "Oh no. All right, I'll be a hero." And it's like an epic, like slow motion, and then it like cuts to outside, and he's still like 10 feet short. He just doesn't know how to fight. He's never fought. Just because it's epic for this. Just because it's an epic moment for the story doesn't mean he suddenly knows how to fight. He just swings the sword down, hits it into the rock, and is embedded there. And he goes, "Oh, well, that's no good, is it?" All right.
Someone cast magic missile at this guy or something.
All right, and at this point, the hooded guy is long gone out of sight. Yalta, what are you going to do?
Alrighty, I'm going to use my second use of Misty Step as a bonus. You can do a bonus before your normal action.
Yeah.
Yes, no? Yeah, cool. I'm going to use my second Misty Step and disappear and appear behind Crow, and then use restoration to give Crow his sight back.
Oh, nice. As you can see this black inkiness across his face, and he like stumbles as he tries to get through, and you're like, what's he doing? And then since he's flanking, you see like under the armpit of this 7-foot tall dude, you see Crow's just attacking wildly because he's got his eyes black, and you realize, oh boy. Yeah. You suddenly appear behind him, hold your hand over his head and cast your lesser restoration, and Crow, you get your eyes back.
Excellent.
Is that everything you can do, Jalta? No, that was your bonus, right? Then you've got bonus that, and then
then action.
Gotcha. Then it
And
is
then,
the
That's-
blood dwellers. For the brevity, they all attack and miss.
And take some damage, presumably from my radiant, whatever.
Yeah, they take some damage. Oh yeah, they probably would have all gone down because they blah blah blah. So they run over, they die with your radiant whatchamacallits. And then Tobias, it's your turn.
Oh! Do I have the chance for glory?
You might.
In slow motion, I flick my hair and my cape flows out like a I lift my staff and cry out, "You stand no longer against the will of the one true God and my destiny in him or her." And I bring my staff down on this filthy creature. I use my +10 thingy.
Oh, your war thing. Oh, channel divinity to give you a +10.
Literal god rays shine down on my thing. The blinding reflections off my scale mail are enough.
Blind me again, please.
Yeah, blinds you.
I roll only an 11.
11?
+10, +10.
Oh, it's good.
My bonus is
Right.
going to the almost 30. Phew! I'm glad I used that.
Yes, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I do 8 + 5 damage, which is
This-
13.
Describe the kill.
It's only in slow motion.
He's confused. He's looking around.
and it just enters his skull and just keeps going. It's like intractable. It's as if he's not there. He just divides down diagonally across his skull into his shoulder.
Top half of his skull sloughs off. His arm sloughs off. It cuts through his arm and into his Jotva, the one that was uninjured as of now, that was being saved for life transference because it does a lot of damage. It cuts right through the Jotva, and both of them fall into two pieces.
Absolutely, and these god rays just shine down until the light is shining out of Tobias's arms, and he just drops his staff, and in a moment of ecstasy, just raises his hands to the heavens and says, "I love you."
Love your God, just don't love your God.
That's right, strange.
All right,
There's kind of a muffled. That was graphic.
The only orc left alive to your knowledge is one of the eyes of Grumsh, who is wounded. So we cut to the end of you the four of you, 5 if you include Peter, towering over this guy and overpowering him one way or another. Would you just finish him off, or would you try and keep him alive to ask questions of?
Yeah, keep him alive to find out where this sword's going. What
All right.
we need to do to follow up.
Knock the crap out of this guy until he's out, and his Jotva are out as well. They're not bred for fighters. They don't have any physical attacks. They're just there to be spellcasters. And we open back up into this fade to black, and then back in as this orc with I have one eye missing from long ago as he's torn it out in a worship of Grumsh, and the other one still bleeding as it's been more recently removed. As he's tied to a pole, he's just smiling. It seems like anything that you're trying on him is just he's ready for it. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to him. Who is the most persuasive or intimidating amongst you? How would you try and get information from this guy?
I would use my intimidating weaponry skills.
I would use Salazar and tell Salazar not to shut up until this guy tells us what we want to hear.
Have I told you the
Salazar,
tale?
this Eye of Grumsh has not heard of you. Please regale him.
Peter,
Well, you
Peter
see,
just-
the
Peter
great
just
Salazar was
sticks you
forged
down.
long ago.
in front of this guy tied to a post and leaves the room. Makes sure to stay within 30 feet, but not within earshot. Hopefully, keeps his fingers in his ears. As the rest of you you're shining up your armor again, Tobias. Crow, you're probably going around. What do you reckon Crow's doing? He's probably salvaging bits to add to his armor, right?
Yeah, he's going to get one of the tusks from this big shaman guy.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one as well. It seems like what you know about orcs is the tusks almost like rodent-like. They never stop growing through their life. And so,
Yeah, I'll hack that out of the root with a hand axe.
easy enough done.
And then at some point, I'm going to return mid Salazar speech and
And that was the 7th time I discovered that ants are somehow attracted to me, almost as if I was covered with some sort of sweet dew.
And I'm actually going to, now that this guy's had a chance to recover a bit, I'm going to menacing attack him to help boost.
Oh, nice. You walk back in as mingling with the blood coming out of his now recently extinguished eye is a lot of tears.
Yeah,
Stop it! Make it stop! Make it stop!
I take the tusk and stick it up his nose and go, this used to belong to someone important, right? And I just keep gently pushing for minimum damage, but maximum discomfort.
It's like
menacing attack.
It's like the opposite of the scene from what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger one? Thank you. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
As he's pulling the thing out of his nostrils, growing and stretching out. Okay. And for the sake of...
I want this I've Grunge to now have the Schwarzenegger accent.
I think you might regret that if you can't understand what he says.
At this point, Salazar says, "Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, I also have the ability to compulse people to tell me things." Oh. Were we after information? Oh.
We had a bard.
Yes.
Oh dear.
I'm a magic sword.
He says, okay, it's fine, just stop. We were paid to take the sword, the shiny sword from the man who come into mountains. In exchange for lots of weapon, man give us more weapon for one weapon, make no sense to us. But he say, I am just one man with lots of weapon, you are lots of men with no weapon. So we take weapon and get lots more weapon from. And it coincides with the 2 saddlebags that were cut from the horse. One of you inspect it and they are filled with weaponry. Mostly axes and things.
That's maths.
He pay us this and money too, and then he take weapon. What more you want now?
I want you to contemplate your life choices, and I'm just gonna knee him in the nuts. And head outside going, all right, so some unnamed villain has stolen your brother, and I guess we'll have to wait till next year before we can find out if we can
find out who it was.
Yes.
And
tune in next time.
And we will leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Thank you for allowing me to go 20 minutes over. I hope you had fun. I certainly did.
That was epic.
This was
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
I love this build. This was an experimental build for me. I'm going to save this for later.
It was a good one. I liked it. I like Crowley's good one. All right. So quickly to wrap up then. Let's go around with let's see what order should we do things in. Thank you very much Thank you very much to all of the people who have been sponsoring this event, obviously. Thank you to all of you guys who are watching. Really appreciate it. I'd still be doing this even if nobody was watching because I love it. And thank you also to you for joining me and making this game so epic, coming up with some epic characters to play in it. If you want to see more of these guys and their content that they create, where can they find you, Heath?
You can find me anywhere on the socials as the Antipodean D20. It's here somewhere down below. That's it, down below. And usually skulking around the internet. And
Michael, where can they find you?
Hey, my name is Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. You can find me all over the internet, but I do have my own Twitch and YouTube channel. But you can find me on a number of places: D&D Official, How to Be a Great GM, World Anvil. I'm all over the place. Just Google Dead Aussie Gamer. You will find me.
Benjamin, where can they find you?
Search for Sirenscape. It's the app that brings amazing immersive sound and music to your tabletop games. The official sounds of the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing, Starfinder, Call of Cthulhu don't play without sound. Would you go to a movie without the movie soundtrack on? No. So give it a try. You can try it for free. Just search for free trial and all that sort of stuff. Yay!
And Grant, where can they find you?
They can't. I lurk. I hide. I have no website. But,
so just give them your address then, and then they can find you there.
Sure. I'm just 1 Canberra Road, Canberra. No, I to be decided, to be released.
To be decided. And if you liked my DMing style tonight, you can find lots more of my DMing stuff on the internet, online. I know words.
I speak
it's been a
English
long week. I speak to good English. You can find me at Robert Hartley GM anywhere. My name is Robert Hartley, Hartley with a T. And you can find me on Twitch. I stream about 4 or 5 days a week doing Dungeons and Dragons related content. You can find me on YouTube. I have my own channel. I also DM for a separate channel called Viva la Dirt League D&D. It is an ongoing campaign and it's a lot of fun. Wacky, zany sort of fun. In very bite-sized chunks. A lot of online D&D content is like 3-4 hours per episode. We keep ours to like 20 to 40 minutes so that you can enjoy them every week. That's enough about self-promotion. Is there anything else I'm forgetting, anybody?
Yes, to everyone, thank you, everyone that's been watching. Thank you for joining us. And come back in about half an hour when we present an RPG panel with our good selves here. And I think 3 others. It's going to be an 8-person RPG panel, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that.
And we'll see you there.
Yay.
Ta-ra! Bye!